I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make a bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo. For more in-depth Knicks conversations and more Uncle Freezy one-on-one time, consider being a Patreon. The link to our Blorange Tears Patreon page is in the description box below. It's more individual conversations, more in-depth breakdowns. For more of that stuff, consider $2 a month or something cheap like that. For more in-depth Knicks conversations. I'll see y'all over there. I'm Uncle Freezy, and you know who I am. Uncle Freezy, the #1 chief rocker in Knicks universe. What's good? What's good, party people in the place to be? It's man, Uncle Freezy, the #1 chief rocker in Knicks universe. Welcome to, I guess, what this thing called the Knicks Morning Drive, even though we rocking a little bit later. Just had some stuff. What's good? Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly, right? Let's get it. Blue tears, orange tears, blorange tears, bim. Let's go. Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you got some loot and a stick of juicy fruit, somebody say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Scream. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. We here, baby. We here. We here. Let's rock. Let's rock. And you don't stop. Keep on. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Man, it's your man, Uncle Freezy in the building. I got some topics that I want to talk to y'all about, but listen, man, I want to go ahead and get this one topic out of the way, and y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. What's going on? I was going to email James Dolan. I can't find his email address. What's going on, James Dolan? Dolan, the fans can't speak to you directly. I mean, I ain't trying to take up much of your time. I know you're a billionaire. Right? And I know you got to sift between. You got to filter. You got to filter some of these messages. Your staff probably got to filter some of these messages, man. But listen, I feel like I'm important, bro. I feel like I'm important. A lot of people probably feel like they do, but listen, man, I'm a regular man with a regular man comment, man. What's good? What's good, man? You ain't got time to listen to your people? I've been paying I've been paying a lot of money for these Knicks, man, for a long time. James Dolan, I'm a long-time customer. Was good. What's good to my people in the chat, though? Chat was good. This chair seemed like it's hitting a mad high, though. I gotta check. This executive, y'all see it? This executive, well, I guess you can't see it, but this executive office chair thingy I'm sitting on is mad regal, sitting up mad high. Feel like Game of Thrones in here. Yeah, man. Salute everybody. Salute to the chat, man. Forbes List Phil is in the building. Trini and Harlem was good. Lee Larrabee is in the building. JJ was good. Let's get it. East Blue Drew was good. TMGF. What's good? Hard Will in the building. Rapper Stone's in the building. Was good. Miss Geraldine, how you doing? Infamous New King in the building. Okay. Okay, I see y'all. All future media in the building. Was good. Was good. So I got to address the topic, man. This thing is just one topic just won't go away. And I don't even like talking about Donovan Mitchell no more, bro. And ladies, I don't even like talking about Donovan Mitchell anymore. Right? But what is the holdup? What is the holdup? Either you're gonna make a deal or you not. These things become frustrating. I don't care what's frustrating to the business owner. I don't care. I don't care. I don't. I don't care what's frustrating to Leon Rose and his front office. I could care less. Honestly. I don't care about that kind of stuff. You know what I care about? Fan stuff. I care about fan stuff. I care about the crowd. I care about stuff. I care about stuff like Infamous New King. I care about people like Infamous New King who you know what I'm saying, rock every day, come in, you know what I'm saying, rock the spot. You know what I'm saying? I care about Wisdom. Y'all see Wiz in the chat. Wiz, what's up? What's good, Wiz? This is Wiz, y'all. Wiz says smash that like button. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about power suit, power tie, power, none of that stuff. Personally, I've been there and done that. That don't fit me, right? I don't care about none of that stuff. That don't fit me, right? What I care about is the beer drinkers, the weekend bowlers, the weekend hoopers, the black toppers, the people that get out there and play basketball. You know what I'm saying? I get the common folks. That's what I care about. I don't care about none of that other stuff. I care about y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I guess what I'm getting at is at some point I think the Knicks franchise need to start caring about us too. Because first of all, it's borderline insane that we don't have a championship yet. The fact that the New York Knicks don't have a championship in 50 years is borderline insane. Infamous New King says the holdup is Danny Ainge trying to score the biggest deal training in the NBA on our backs. Leon said, "Nah, yeah." To be honest with you, I don't care nothing about that, bro. I don't even care nothing about that. Because here's the thing: if Leon Rose says no, you're not getting it, then why are we still chasing? Move on. Move on. Y'all don't care nothing about the kids? Because before the Donovan Mitchell thing was real, all I heard every day was, what about the kids? Play the kids. Play the kids. Play the kids. Play the kids. Tibbs sucked because he won't play the kids. And now that there's a potential Donovan Mitchell deal, we like, yeah, man, all he want is 2 of these kids, man, and some draft pick. What? 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 Pierre Moise is in the building. What's good? Pierre Moise is in the building. What's good? What's good, Moise? What's good? When are we going to do something? We need to either do the deal or don't do the deal. But this Limbo thing is ridiculous. This Limbo thing is ridiculous. And it's ridiculous for multiple reasons. First of all, we're always in limbo, right? We never get the number 1 pick and we never win the NBA championship. We never get the number 1 pick and we never win an NBA championship. We're always in that weird limbo in between. Second of all, we never get a star. We never have a roster so bad that we can play kids and let them grow into stars, and we could never go get a LeBron James or Kevin Durant. We're always in this middle space, limbo. Thank you, boss. Boss lady just brought me a snack. We're always in the middle. Everything Knicks related is always in the middle. Always. We're used to it. We're comfortable with it. Right? And I'm frustrated with it, man. I'm tired of being in the middle. Just be really bad or really good. Stop being 35 wins, man. I want to be positive. I want some positive news, man. I want some positive vibes, man. I'm tired, man. I'm frustrated, man, with being like this middle thing. Right? I want y'all to help me get to a positive place. Somebody hit me with some positive stuff. Right? Somebody hit me with some positive stuff. But while I wait on positive news, I'm gonna look up the New York Knicks all-time win percentage. New York Knicks all-time win percentage. Please good. Oh my God. Oh my God. The New York Knicks all-time win percentage. Y'all see that? The New York Knicks all-time win percentage is 48.4%. Stuck in the middle. Hulk Hope TV says, Yankees making deals today. Leon, nothing. There's the proof. 48.4%. So Bricks Nation says, I thought you were after some good news. Why are you looking up the all-time? Because I thought that was going to be good. I thought it was going to be a lot better than what it is. I ain't even going to lie to you. I thought it was going to be a lot better than what it is. That was going to be my good news. Like, look at the bright side, Uncle Freezy. Traditionally, you know what I'm saying, and then I pull it up and look at, man, and it's the opposite. Let me throw the link in the chat. Maybe we can get some positive vibes from some of our people, man. Maybe we can get some positive vibes from some of our people. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm frustrated, man. Now I'm frustrated, man. You feel me? Now I'm frustrated, man. JJ47K says, now all of a sudden Leon Rose is bad. That's the impression I'm getting from some Knicks fans. I don't know, man. You gotta recalibrate. You gotta recalibrate how you think about stuff. If this is the impression that you're getting, you gotta recalibrate some stuff, bro. Danny Landis.
Freezy is in the building.
What's good? Hey, man. Mets and Yankees trying to make some moves today, man.
What are the Mets doing? You heard anything about the Mets? I heard the Yankees got some pitchers.
Yeah. Well, the deadline is not until 6.
Let's see.
Hey, Danny, you breaking up? What's up, Chef? Danny, you breaking up, bro? What's up, Chef? How you doing, man?
Slow motion. Heard you was on my. I said I might jump on and hang out with you for a little while on my little commute home.
Yeah, man. How the family doing?
Everybody's good, thanks. How's your family?
Great.
Man.
Yes, sir.
What you was upset? What you upset about? I just logged on when you was about. I'm upset right now.
I'm frustrated with being stuck in the middle, bro. Stuck in the middle. Like you can't get the number 1 pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then also you can't get Kevin Durant, right? So you got to get something in the middle, right? You can't win an NBA championship, but you also can't get the number 1 pick, right? Right. You can't go out and get, bro. It's just a weird. I think it's just absurd. I think it's absurd that we've gone 50 years without a championship.
You seen our title last night. You seen our little title that we used last night.
Yep.
As far as like how we feel, but we wanted to throw that out there to see how, because I don't know if you saw the point guard. I ended the show with that last night about the point guard.
Right.
And how everybody, their dream was to play for the Knicks, and I don't know what happened. I thought the Knicks was like the ideal team, like everybody wanted to play for the Knicks back in the day, but now,
Yeah, you talking about the point guard show on Showtime.
Yeah, all the guys, like you talking about some of the greatest point guards that ever to lace up a pair of sneakers. They want to play
for the Knicks. Yeah.
Their dream was to play for the Knicks, right? So I said, where do we lose that mojo as for the players, I should say, players wanting to play for the Knicks? Make that dream a reality again of guys wanting to play for the Knicks.
Right.
Right. Everybody want to come play the Garden and beat us.
Yeah, and I see some things in the chat like, yo, chill out, stop crying, and all that stuff. I think Trust said, yo, stop crying, put on a Nets jersey or something. Trust must be 12. Trust must be a 12-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Because only a 12-year-old would not understand how much the Knicks fans have been through. You know what I'm saying? Or not be passionate about the Knicks. Like what it is like and shout out to Trust, because I don't discriminate, man. If you 12, then it is what it is. But what I'm getting at is yo, if you have the assets, supposedly, Trust says I'm 9. Hey, shout out to Trust. Shout out to Trust. Yo, shout out to Trust, man, for having a sense of humor, man. Shout out to Trust for having a sense of humor, man. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, if we have assets and all these things, bro, I'm like, go make a move, man. You don't have to get Donovan Mitchell. But if you're going to make a move, make a move. And if you're not going to make a move, you know what I'm saying, and you're going to trust in these kids, then trust in the kids. Right? That's what I'm getting at. Like, what direction are we going to go in? Are we going, oh, I know what road you on, Chef. I know what road you on. I took that road out of Atlanta to come home one time, or every time, I think.
And I'm on 20 right now. I'm on 20 East right now. So this is 20 run you through Atlanta. So those who know Atlanta, 20 will run you through Atlanta. 85 and 285 will bring you. Well, 285 will bring you around Atlanta.
Right.
But 20 will run you through Atlanta.
Oh, I know it.
Mm-hmm.
20 get me back to South Carolina.
Yeah, get you back to South. Well, 85 will get you back to South Carolina. 20 will get you to South Carolina, but it'll take you a different kind of way. Right. 20, it'll get you to. It depends on where you're going in the Carolinas. So 20 will take you there, but it depends on where you're going.
Right.
I want to ask you a question, Freeze. Last night we was talking about, is the Knicks in a win now mode with Tibbs, or is he just the coaching to win? Period.
That's a great question, bro.
Good question.
I think Tibbs is just the way it's looking right now. In this moment, say August 2nd, Tibbs looked like a placeholder. That's what he looked like to me. He looked like a placeholder. Because to be honest with you, I don't think we know where we're going. Right?
There's no plan.
I like Tibbs, by the way. But then if I throw it back at you and ask you what direction we're headed in, can you tell me specifically?
Hopefully we headed in the right direction.
Hopefully.
We headed in the same direction I'm going right now, top of the East.
Yeah. Hopefully. Hopefully.
But right now, look, as the roster is constructed right now, we're not in the win now mode. We in the compete mode right now. I would say right now we're trying to get better, or at least work our way to getting better. You know what I mean? Right. Y'all got a part with some of these roads out here in Atlanta. These roads is horrible. Y'all got a part with the noise. I'm gonna keep muting myself, but yeah. The way how the roster is constructed, it's constructed to not compete, but to make some noise right now. They can make some noise,
right?
You know, but we're not a championship team, so we're not in the win now mode. And Tibbs is a win. Everyone says he's a win now coach, but I always say every coach should be in the win now mode. It's no coach to just say we should just fold it up and we should just go ahead and I'm just gonna mail it up. We're only gonna win 10 games this season.
Right.
You find me a coach like that, I say get rid of him right away. That's okay.
You find me a coach like that. Yeah, right. You find me a coach like that, and I'll find you a loser.
So, but the fans, people in the chat say, you know, Tibbs is in the win. He's a win now coach. He's a win now coach. I'm like, what's the win now coach? Every coach should be in the win now mode.
Right.
How you develop players is how you develop players. That's a whole nother conversation. But every coach should be in the win now mode. Every coach.
What I would say to that, and I agree with you, man. What I would say to the situation is I just can't figure out how this front office goes about doing what they do. And I know we're not insiders. We don't know what teams reject and accept from the Knicks until a transaction goes through. But what I will say is that smart minds, reasonable minds should be able to follow it is that you're doing if what you're doing is sound, right? But if you're not sound, then smart people can't follow what it is that you're doing. And for those that say they're smarter than everybody else, you got to be careful of those folks because those are usually the idiots. You know what I'm saying? Like for those for the ones that say, man, I can't understand what y'all talking about, man. How do you not see this? I saw this from a mile away. Right. That's usually the village idiot. You know what I'm saying? Smart people, you know what I'm saying, take their time, look at stuff for what it is, take into account all the factors, you know what I'm saying, piece things together, you know what I'm saying, and draw conclusions based on certain evidence that they get, right? But at the same time, it's up to this front office to give us something, bro. In my opinion, I don't think Jalen Brunson is enough, especially in a year where you didn't draft a first-round pick.
I think we all in agreement on that one. We all know that Jalen Brunson is not enough. Now, even when we get Donovan Mitchell, you know we still got to go make another move. That's not going to be the end-all, be-all to winning a championship. You know you're going to have to get something else the way how that team is. What that piece is, we don't know because we don't have Donovan Mitchell yet. Even people we're going to need playing alongside of him because you got to make some kind of adjustments, you know, because who knows? He might come, you know, because the more I think about it, you know, I be at work scratching my head. If he comes, who to say that him and RJ might get along? Then next thing you know, we looking to go get rid of RJ and bring somebody else in, or Brunson, or Julius, or Mitchell, you know, Robinson, that is.
Yeah.
So we don't know how to play out until them guys actually hit the court together. Right now, all we can do is just fantasize.
Right. Okay. So this is where I'll tell you where I think we are, right? If you get Donovan Mitchell, you're 2 defensive wing players away from being a challenger for the Eastern Conference Finals, right? And I know that sounds grandiose, right? It sounds grandiose. Like, what? The Knicks are that close? Yeah, because here's the thing. If you go get Donovan Mitchell, right? Say for instance, whatever the original package was, say it is the trade package is IQ and Obi and 4 first-round picks. Say that's what they accept, right? Say that's what it is, right? Then off your bench, you have Derrick Rose at point, Quentin Grimes at the 2, Cam Reddish at the 3. You go get you a power forward. Hartenstein is the 5, right? Your starters are Brunson, Spider, RJ, Randall, Mitch, right? I just mentioned 9 guys, right? 9 guys on the roster. I didn't mention Jericho Sims, Farron Hunt, or Miles McBride. That's 12, right? Those are the guys at the end of your bench, right? All you need is 2 veteran wing player types, like a Danny Green, a Josh Jackson. If you add a Danny Green type, not Danny Green per se, but a Danny Green type and a Josh Jackson type. A Danny Green, somebody that can guard 2s and 3s, a Josh Jackson, a dude that can guard 3s and 4s. Now you have a situation where you could compete in the East against the Jaylen Browns and Jason Tatums. Now you can compete against the Milwaukee Bucks. I didn't say beat them. I said compete against them. Now you're in a conversation. Because without Donovan Mitchell, without Danny Green, without Josh Jackson, you ain't even in a conversation. It's laughable to think you even in a conversation. But I tell you who I think we are better than. We're better than Miami. We're better than Cleveland. We're better than Chicago, right? And now if you thrust us up into that top 3 conversation, I'm not saying top 3 record. I'm saying top 3 conversation, right? If things go right, I feel like we can compete. And if we get lucky, maybe we find a player during the season. Maybe a player breaks out. Like maybe the ham sandwich breaks out. Maybe Quentin Grimes becomes something, right? Maybe Cam Reddish becomes something. And now you grew and got better organically instead of spending money, right? And now the improvements that you made to your team are Brunson, Mitchell, Grimes, Reddish, RJ, Green, Jackson. And it doesn't sound impressive, but notice that team is really young and have veterans at the same time. And you got a ton of playoff experience with Derrick Rose and Danny Green, Donovan Mitchell, right? And then you also have horses to help you get through the regular season. RJ Barrett, Julius Randle. My thing is, I always felt like we should be more worried about building a balanced roster to make it to the playoffs, right? And then see what we can do once we get to the playoffs. I know that roster doesn't sound impressive, but when you look at other contenders in the East, look at the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics have Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and then a bunch of dudes. Look at Milwaukee. Milwaukee has Giannis, Middleton, Holiday, and then a bunch of dudes, right? The Knicks would have Brunson, Randall, RJ, Spider, Rose, and then a bunch of dudes. My question for you, Chef, is do you think Tom Thibodeau can coach this team to, say, the Eastern Conference Final Championship? Hey, we can't hear you, boss. So Bo Ismail says, pick someone other than Josh Jackson. Yeah, Chef, we can't hear you, boss. So the reason why I'm in chat, the reason why I'm a little impatient with the Donovan Mitchell deal is that the longer we wait, the more veteran free agents come off the board, right? So you can't make your next move. Like for instance, JaMychal Green would have been an excellent pickup, right? He can guard 3s, 4s, and 5s. He can shoot the 3 a little bit. He's mad durable, right? And he could be a starter at the 3 or 4, right? And be a quality guy off the bench in that Otto Porter role, like Golden State is using him right now to replace Otto Porter. But since there's no Donovan Mitchell deal in place, you can't go out and get guys like this. I know he's on Golden State. I know that. That's what I'm telling y'all. If the Donovan Mitchell deal had been done, we could have tried to get him before he was on Golden State. That's what I'm telling you. I know he's on Golden State. I know.
Can you hear me now, Free?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
You actually did. What, can Tibbs lead the team? Tibbs can lead the team. That's a. I believe he can. Guys will ridicule me behind that, but I do think Tibbs can lead that team with that roster. We forgot about Fournier. What are we doing with Fournier?
And Fournier. I forgot about Fournier. You're right.
But
right.
Can he lead? Yes, he can. Now here's the catch: with some help, with some coaching help.
Right.
Because you know the guys is going to compete. You know the guys got talent. Now it's all about putting all that together and whipping up a winning formula.
Right. So your man Hartwell bugging, bro. Hartwell think that team can't get to the East, be an Eastern Conference contender. I think Hartwell wrong, bro. Hartwell, you gotta look at the teams that contended for the Eastern Conference finals. Right. Look at all the second round teams. Right. You telling me or telling us that a team with Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson can't compete with a team that has Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, and Joel Embiid? Because after Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, and Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, all they have is just a bunch of dudes. That's all they have is a bunch of dudes. Right? What I'm saying is these teams in the East aren't juggernauts. They're not built like, they're not the Golden State Warriors, bro. This is not the Miami Heat. This is not the Heatles. Right? This is not the San Antonio Spurs of yesteryear. These are a team with flaws. And right now, we're a team with flaws. I think the Knicks are 2 pieces away from being a second-round team. Two pieces easy. One of those pieces is Donovan Mitchell. And the second piece may already be on the roster, but we don't know it yet. Honestly, I think there is a player on the roster that's poised to break out. But I don't know who that player is yet because I need to see him with Donovan Mitchell. Or let me say this. I don't want to say his name yet because I need to see him with Donovan Mitchell. Or a star. Or a player. Right? Or a player.
I just want to see some consistency, Reese. I want to see consistency. You know, when you look at the East, when the teams only separated themselves, like Boston really separated themselves in the playoffs. Prior to that, the East was tight all season long. You had Miami at the top for a couple of weeks. You had Philly at the top. Yeah, Cleveland. So that doesn't go to show you that the competition is there. It's like the teams, they all gonna be there. So that's why you gotta hear. I gotta hear what Freeze how he asked the question. You know, and then you gotta think about it right off the grip. Everybody like, oh, you bugging. You don't know. You know, but you gotta listen.
Right.
Hear the question so that you can comprehend the question. So you can give a proper answer without just thinking about the Knicks and this roster and saying that they're not going to compete. You know?
Bro, I ain't even going to, oh boy, the champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here, bro. The champ is here. He about to bust somebody's head. Well, okay. Hey, champ, how you doing, champ?
What's up, Aunt? What's going on?
Ain't nothing to it.
What's good?
What's up, man?
Ain't nothing to it, bro. I'm trying to convince Sherwin that a combination of Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson makes the Knicks a Eastern Conference contender. Right? Meaning when I say Eastern Conference contender, what I'm saying is a top 4 team in the East. Right? And so with that said, I know it's easy to say, just looking on paper, like, nah, man, the Knicks ain't ready. Say, for instance, we get a breakout performance, say, from Isaiah Hartenstein. Say Isaiah Hartenstein breaks out. Right? Just breaks out and is like 14-7 off the bench. Very good defense, complimentary to Mitchell Robinson. Say like those stretches when we can't get any offense, you bring in Hartenstein and you run offense differently through Hartenstein. He is that dollar store Jokic type player for us. Not saying he will, I'm just saying, if he breaks out, say he the dollar store Jokic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say he 14-7 and 4 assists for us on a second unit that features Cam Reddish, Quentin Grimes, Derrick Rose, and whatever, right? Right? Now, all of a sudden, all those games that we couldn't score, we could defend but couldn't score, now that's not an issue for us anymore, right? Now you're talking about like those games we lost to Minnesota, the games that we lost to the Pelicans. Remember that Jose Alvarado game? We was like, yo, we could have had him. He was undrafted. Remember that, the Pelicans game? Remember the game in Portland that Saturday afternoon where we had the big lead and then we couldn't score? Remember the game in Denver when a dude named Zeke Naji was nailing corner threes against us and we couldn't keep up? You know what I'm saying? So now all of a sudden, all these games that we could have and should have won, but we couldn't stay competitive because we couldn't score. Now your breakout player on the second unit keeps us in those games. So then when the starters come back, it's a different game. What I'm saying is, with a little help from y'all ever saw that show, The Wonder Years? With a little, remember the theme song, With a Little Help from My Friends? If all we needed was like these small little nudges and small little spots, bro, the Knicks are not that far away, and the record tells you that throughout all those injuries, injuries to your starting point guard hurt. His backup is hurt, out for the season, right? You playing your second unit small forward at point. You got a 6'7" backcourt. Alec Burks is 6'7", Evan Fournier is 6'7", and you still can't get to the playoffs, right? Now you bring in our true point guard in Brunson and a real off guard and Donovan Mitchell, and you telling me this team can't win 10 more games just with the addition of them two and 3 more with the advancement of Quentin Grimes, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Mitchell Robinson, maybe some RJ Barrett?
Nah, I think so. I think it'll probably come down to draw, and matchup, because like in boxing they say styles make fights. You know what I mean? So, but with Donovan Mitchell, like we'd be in the conversation, absolutely, because I think most Knicks fans would agree that without Donovan Mitchell, they all have us somewhere in that 10-6 range. Right, around that 10-6 range. It's depending on who you're asking, it varies on that scale. Now, if you add Donovan Mitchell to that, I mean, I feel like you're solidly in the top 6, in my opinion. And the way the Eastern Conference is shaping up, I believe every top 6 to 7 seed, even I'd even say 8, depending on the matchup, all have a chance to get to the conference final.
Right.
They all have a chance to the conference finals. So like I think a team like Atlanta could give Boston some fits.
That's the team that I fear.
Right? Yeah.
That is the team that I fear. Atlanta is the team. I don't fear Boston, bro. I fear Atlanta.
Yeah. And if Atlanta gets that 8 or 6 seed, I believe, they're gonna meet Boston in that first and second round. And then, like, you know what I mean? So the Eastern Conference is weird to the fact of, like, it's a lot of teams that are jumbled together. And if we get Donovan Mitchell, we put our hat in that ring. You know what I mean? So we're definitely contenders in the Eastern Conference with a Donovan Mitchell, in my opinion.
What I'm saying is what I'm definitely speaking to is that none of these teams are without flaws. Right? None of these teams in the East are the Boston Celtics. I mean, I'm sorry, not the Boston, but the Golden State Warriors. None of these teams in the Eastern Conference are. For instance, I think every team in the NBA has significant flaws except for the Warriors. Every team has significant. The Warriors won the championship with Klay Thompson looking like a shell of himself offensively. What happens when he fully recovers, right? What happens when Moses Moody starts to get playing time? What happens when Jordan Poole takes on more significant minutes in a more prominent role? What happens when Jonathan Kuminga takes that step up in his second year? That's a team that I fear. Do I fear a team like the Boston Celtics who clearly has chemistry issues? Clearly they got chemistry issues, bro. They got hot, and all of a sudden people want to anoint them the best team in the East, but Atlanta had injuries all season last year. Atlanta had injuries all season, right? The Knicks had injuries all season last year. Kemba Walker was never going to lead us to the promised land. I think a healthy Kemba Walker probably wins us 4 more games, but Kemba Walker will never be healthy again. I'm sorry. It's just what it is. It's just a reality. You know what I'm saying? It's like no matter how much I go to the gym, I will never have a body like The Rock. Ever. Mm-hmm. It's just a reality, bro.
Have confidence.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm confident. I mean, The Rock ain't more confident than me. The Rock is definitely not more confident than Uncle Freezy. What I'm saying is I just want to have a body like him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But
don't matter how many cucumbers you eat.
Bro, I had some this morning, bro.
Yeah, really?
This morning. Yeah, cucumber slices, bro.
Plain? You have them plain? That's it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I'm nervous, Freezy. And salute to guys in the room and the chat, everybody. Hi. I'm nervous about it. Let me tell you, if they don't get Mitchell, they get a big fat C to effort this front office. They better get him, man.
Right.
Team is incomplete. We need him.
Right.
Now the clock is still ticking, and we still don't got this guy. I don't want to say, we got to be patient. No. Go get him. Because you got other teams. I'm telling you, got Pat Riley lurking. They'll figure a way.
And with the way the rest of the East is set up right now, nobody has really separated themselves. Like last season, nobody expected Boston to get to the NBA Finals. There weren't too many people expecting Boston to get to the conference finals last year. And to me, that is even the more reason to go get a Donovan Mitchell, because with Donovan Mitchell and 1 or 2 more moves in a year or two, you can vault yourself to the top of the conference or in that discussion with those teams like Boston and Milwaukee. Because I think and Atlanta's a dangerous team that, I feel like, they're always going to be there. But when I say that them top 2, Boston and Milwaukee, those are kind of like the 2 that are in kind of like a different tier
right
at the moment. But they're not even indestructible, in my opinion. Philly doesn't scare me at all. Like, if we were a 6 seed and Philly was the 3 seed, sign me up.
Right.
Sign me up. Like, so not saying I'm 100% sure we'd beat them, but, like, it's not a David and Goliath.
But we in a conversation. All you need to do is be in a conversation. That's what I'm saying. CWC, what's good, bro?
What's good, party people? How y'all? What's up, chat panel, everybody?
Yeah,
CWC
man.
was good. CWC. What's good? What's popping, man? Hey, can I say something before I go, man? I just want to be on here for 5 minutes for my show for conference. Danny ain't being greedy, right, Uncle Freezy, man? The last report I heard, this guy won 8 draft picks. Then he won Obi, Grimes, McBride, and Quickly. Are you serious, dude? Now all that is worth it for one guy, man? Come on, that's a whole team.
Okay. But
don't
Knicks
believe
fans,
everything you hear, though.
Right. And Knicks fans are not saying pay that price.
No.
Knicks fans are saying either do a deal with Utah or move on.
Amen.
Right.
But check this out. Oh, okay.
But right now you in limbo, right? Because if you do neither, you in purgatory, and free agents are leaving the board as we speak.
That's right.
You can't improve your team until you either make that move or not make that move.
And he got, yeah, you're right.
Now, what I will say, now, if Tears don't play Obi and McBride and Grimes like more minutes than last year, this, you know what I'm saying? It's a
That's
problem.
a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother.
Yeah. It's a whole conversation. But what I'm saying, though, you know what I'm saying? I want Donovan Mitchell, too. I'm saying like this. If you're not playing Obi more minutes than what he did last year, let him go. Let him go Utah. Let him flourish. Him and McBride. You know what I'm saying? And the other young guys, if you ain't gonna play them, because you know Tibbs, he like to play that that non-rotation thing. So these guys probably won't get a chance to be on the floor like that. So I'm like, man, we might well just get Donovan Mitchell if that's the case.
Well, it comes down to a game of chicken right now, to see if they're gonna pull a trigger. You know?
Yeah. Hey, Sherwin M says, what move can you make with max cap space? That's so easy. I don't want to answer that question. I just want to see what y'all think. Hey, so for the record, Sherwin, most teams operate over the cap because the benefits of being over the cap outweigh the benefits of being under the cap. Right? Because over the cap teams can use exceptions like room exception, biannual exception, vet minimum. It's just too many exceptions when you operate above the cap versus when you operate below the cap, you just have money. That's the only benefit.
If this front office is not willing, if it was all about picks that they're saying, oh, they're giving up too many picks and give up one or two of the young guys, then they're stupid.
Right.
They're plain stupid.
That's crazy. Yeah.
You got to give up the picks to get this guy. Come on now. Stop.
And it's not we be over the cap with a Russell Westbrook contract. Like, and even then, we see that the Lakers are probably going to get that off. Right? So even like being over the cap, like we'd have guys that are tradable. And Brunson, Randall, RJ, Mitch. Why? Because if you see the way the Knicks are structuring these contracts, they're descending per year, right? So these are not going to be immovable contracts. So if another star becomes available to pair with Donovan and we have to trade some of these guys off, we can do that. Because we're not just signing scrubs. We signed assets. So I wouldn't worry too much about being over the salary cap. What I would worry more so about is getting rid of all of our draft capital. You want to keep
that's why I am too.
Right. You want to keep a little bit of that draft capital so that when you have to make another move, you have players and draft capital.
Champ. Let me.
You know, New York Knicks fans, we like looking at the draft, and we like, man, we ain't getting nobody out the draft.
I ain't worried about those picks. I ain't worried about giving up those picks now. Come on now.
And King Angie, let me I'm sorry. Champ, I'm sorry. Champ gonna knock my head off. Don't. I'm sorry, Champ. I'm sorry. So Champ. So here's the thing, Champ. Hey, how did Leon Rose get those extra picks? Were they here before he got here?
No.
He accumulated more picks, right?
Yeah.
So are we saying once he does that trade, he's gonna forget how to accumulate draft picks?
No, but Freeze gotta look at what the issue with the Jazz is right now. The issue is that those picks he traded for aren't as valuable as our own picks. So you can trade for more picks, but the chances are they're gonna be protected. Right. So yes, that's cool, right? So I believe he can do that again, but that's why I want to keep that 29 pick. Because 2 years down the line, you'll be able to re-up, and now you got 29, 31, 33. You know, like we gotta. I think
you
that's
wouldn't give up the 29th pick for Mitchell.
No. He's talking about 2029. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He talking about another lifetime. He's talking about way.
My bad.
But not even that. Like I think Leon is trying to like think about 2 years down the line, because 2 years down the line, 2029, 2031, and 33, I believe, will be in play to be traded, right? So you want to keep that 2029 so that you have a little more unprotected first round picks to trade if you have to.
But King Angie, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. But Champ. Here's the thing. Leon Rose traded a lottery pick this year, right? He traded the number 11 pick. But guess what? He didn't trade the number 11 pick. He selected a player with that pick and then traded the rights to that player. See, and that's what we can do in them uneven years. Like you trade for Donovan Mitchell, say 23, 25, 27, 29. Well, guess what you can do in 24, 26, 28? You can select a player, right, and trade the rights to that player to accumulate more draft picks. We know he can do this. You know why? Because he just did it this year. That's how we have. That's how come we have so many. The thing is, and I see people in the chat are all over the place, right? Like I saw Sherwin M say, "Well, 2023 is full of free agents, and if we don't have cap space, how can we sign somebody?" Hey, Sherwin, newsflash. Hey, you couldn't get a big time free agent to come here when you had money.
That's right. I was about to say that. Yeah.
Right. And now you're talking about we don't have money. We can't get nobody to come here. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. It's as simple as either you want Donovan Mitchell or you don't. If you don't want Donovan Mitchell, say you don't want Donovan Mitchell. But to make excuses to make it seem like the move that makes sense is weak. Sherwin, I'm saying if you're gonna come to the hole strong, bro. Come to the hole strong. Don't just say, well, we won't have cap space to sign Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard wasn't never coming here.
Yeah. Told rumors.
Kawhi Leonard had 2 times. Kawhi Leonard had 2 opportunities to come here on his own.
And he never came.
He went to his hometown.
My only thing is like we saying, 2029 is so long from now. But guys, understand that is what's holding the deal up. That is exactly what's holding the deal up. 2023, 2025, and 2027 are in the framework already. Leon is trying to hold out.
If that's true, that makes me sick. I'm gonna vomit.
And I think he's doing so with the knowledge that those unprotected picks are what's valuable. Those protected picks are not as valuable as we think they are. If they were, Donovan Mitchell would have had his press conference already and all that. Danny Ainge doesn't really want those protected picks because they're protected. So, we have to look at it like that. Like, we can acquire picks, but they're not going to be as valuable as our own picks.
But if he's holding on to these picks and it's holding up the deal, then he's stupid, Leon Rose.
But he holding the unprotected pick from the Knicks. Those valuable,
right? But right? And I think I think it's as small as when they give you 3 unprotected, 3 protected, and Danny is saying I want 4 unprotected. Now I think if it comes down to it, Leon is gonna say, you know what, all right. But I think he's playing it smart and he's waiting until he has to give up that last first round unprotected.
I don't feel confident.
He ain't had to come down on his price.
Yeah.
Because if we give up that unprotected first round pick, it's that last one. I know it seems small, but it's gonna make it not impossible to bring in another guy. Never impossible.
Yeah, he want like 4.
A little more difficult. And I think Leon is trying to use some foresight, which is that's his job.
But champ, let me.
I'll catch that guys later.
All right, boss.
All right, later, man.
All right, boss. But here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, though, right? I could agree with Champ and what he's saying if he can explain to me who that player is that the Knicks are targeting down the road.
Thank you.
Tell me who it is. If this player is so important that is holding up a Donovan Mitchell trade, tell me who he is.
And what makes you think we're going to get him?
I don't think who he is important as much as knowing that a guy will become available. Right?
But we know that already.
And Freezy, you just said nobody in the East can beat Golden State. right?
Right.
So in order for us to get to a place to where we can say, you know what, bring me Golden State, we could beat them. We're gonna need another guy at some point, unless RJ Barrett turns into that other guy, which is possible.
Right, that's a separate thing. That's a separate thing, though. I wanted to speak to that separately, but you made the point though, because I think the organic internal improvement is what pushes us over the top. That's why I think bringing in Donovan Mitchell first to see who is that player that improves through organic internal improvement will dictate who you go get down the road. Now, if Cam Reddish turns into that guy, all that stuff that you just said for the last 20 minutes don't even matter.
It sure enough doesn't.
Right. That's why I'm saying, why not do the Donovan Mitchell deal first?
Please
look at the internal and organic improvement within. Right. Yes. Because here's the thing. You just about already know what you're gonna get from Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They may score more points. They may win more games through experience, but they're not going to get in. They're not going to get much better than what they are right now. Right.
They're ready. Yeah.
Right. They ready. They ready. Right. Like Giannis and Middleton. They are already at their peak. They're not. Giannis is not going to turn into Klay Thompson overnight. His three is not going to become 40%. He's not going to shoot 40% from three. Giannis is Giannis at this point, right? Joel Embiid is Joel Embiid at this point. James Harden is James Harden. Is what he is at this point, right? And I would dare say that Trae Young is what he is at this point, right?
For the most part. Yeah.
But what is RJ Barrett?
We don't know.
Right? That's what I'm getting. What is Quentin Grimes? Right? There are teams out there that are middling that I know can pull off a move and leapfrog us if they give you an example. The Washington Wizards today can pull off 2, 3, 4 moves and leapfrog the Knicks.
They can.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Because for one, they have a Porzingis contract that next year is going to look like gold to some teams that want cap space.
They're a little underrated in my opinion anyway.
Right. But they have a point guard issue, right?
Right. That's it. Yep. That's the issue.
So they have a point guard issue, right? Right. The rookie they drafted doesn't really look like gangbusters yet. Johnny Davis.
Right.
Johnny Davis looks exactly like a lot of us thought. A slow power guard. He looks like yeah. But what they do have is attractive young players like a Kyle Kuzma who can play the 3 or the 4. And whether you like his personality or not, the kid is a young piece that you can put in a trade.
You got
Hachimura. They have Corey Kispert.
Yeah.
They have Denny Avdija, who's going to be an elite wing. Hey, man, this kid Denny Avdija is looking like he's going to be like Franz Wagner, a 3-and-D star in that mold of Andre Kirilenko. I'm not saying that neither is going to be AK-47. So before anybody go crazy, I'm not saying that neither will be AK-47. But what I'm saying, going down that mold, like a power wing that guards threes, right? Like a power wing, like a big, strong wing that's agile enough to guard 2s, 3s, and 4s, but does it with strength as opposed to agility, right? They have all these. Now, all they have to do is if they trade Bradley Beal, I mean, they have pieces to work with. Also, is basically what I'm getting at.
No,
don't sleep on Washington and a lot of these deals. So what I'm saying is, while basically what I'm getting at is the Knicks should be counting their own cards and not counting the cards of others.
I'll say this: if me personally, if Leon Rose traded that 2029 pick as well, you would not hear not one complaint from King NG from the champ.
From champ. I don't know who King NG is.
You wouldn't hear no complaint.
Who is King NG? We don't know who that is.
The man formerly known as, right? Like so I don't want to get it confused that like I'm saying I don't want Donovan if I got no. Like my saying is pull the trigger, boom. If you gotta send that ninth pick, send it. That's my opinion. But me being greedy, I'm like, but if we can get away with it without it, I like that even more. But my opinion, like this, I'm willing to pay more than most. For Donovan Mitchell because I see the bigger picture. I see the bigger picture. I think Knicks fans kind of have buyer's remorse a little bit, and we are, in a weird way, underrating Donovan Mitchell, in my opinion. I think we're underrating him. Some of us are underrating him a little bit. You add him to a playing team, and they're not a playing team anymore. Yeah, I like the idea of putting him next to RJ Barrett. I think that does wonders for his career. That's not even mentioning him and Jalen Brunson next to RJ. So I do it. But I understand what Leon is thinking. But it's just saying like don't get too cute.
Well, we got a ton of roster inconsistencies up and down this roster right now. There's too much inconsistency with the guys that we have.
Right.
Some of them come to play some nights, some don't. So that's of course RJ. And I like RJ a lot, but
because never mind. I don't want to go down that road.
I think RJ need to get his rump in shape, bro. RJ gotta get in shape, man.
Yeah, that's the
especially
only thing.
Free throws.
Highlight video I didn't like. He seems still like he has cinder blocks on his feet. Like he's moving heavy.
Slow motion.
And I know Drew Hanlon is working on that quick twitch. And I think he needs to lose like 15 pounds.
Or something.
Because he's like, I don't think RJ needs to worry about being strong enough. That's just genetics.
Natural,
like a strong dude. He can afford to lose 15 pounds and get a little more slimmer. I don't think Jaylen Brown has issues with being too weak or not strong enough, right? So if he can get his body type, a little slimmer, I think because he gets winded, man. Even a lot of the games where he's playing really well, by the time the fourth quarter rolls around, like he doesn't have a lot left, because he's like he doesn't have that conditioning. So RJ can afford to lose 15 to 20 pounds.
Yeah, I would overplays him sometimes too. So
yeah, I think RJ will be much improved this year.
We hope.
Just off of getting his body in shape, man. Like Jimmy Butler is 6'7", 232, right? It's because he can play at 232.
Right.
RJ Barrett can't play in his 220s, bro. He can't. You saw how slow he looked at 220.
You ever seen RJ's high school tape film? He got much higher off the ground. He finished a little higher above the rim. And he just looked a little more like he just looked quicker. Even if you watch that Canada versus the USA game and you watch RJ Barrett, he looked more fluid. He looked quicker. Even some of the shots he took, like I haven't seen him really take those shots with confidence consistently in the NBA. So, like I think if he can get back down to that size, like the Canadian team size,
210.
RJ is a much better athlete. And he's been a pretty good athlete at his size now, but I think he's an even better athlete than that. We just gotta. I think he's a little bit too heavy. I think he's carrying some extra bricks on his.
Right. It's what it looks like, and then plus the load of minutes that he's playing, man. I'm not saying that RJ's a fatty. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's a deal like Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle last year. Bulked up to come into the season, and they look slow and sluggish and lazy. You know what I'm saying? Look slow and all that stuff, man, to try to take the pounding. When Tibbs, what Tibbs should have been doing is play them fresh minutes, and when they're not fresh, sub somebody in. Stop playing them so many minutes, man.
Right.
Like cap their minutes at like 32. They don't have to play 38 minutes. I mean, come on, bro. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. He burns them out.
Yeah, you could have played Cam Reddish, Obi, Grimes, McBride, IQ, Sims, all those dudes, bro. You could have played them dudes. You only won 37 games anyway.
That's what we're saying all year.
Right. So yeah, man. So I guess what I'm getting at ultimately, yo, Cully in the building. What's good? What's good, Cully? Yeah, man. So ultimately, what I'm getting at is you got to do a deal for Spider or move on.
Yeah.
Because at what point does an extended negotiation just become drama?
Yeah, that's right.
And people will tell me all the time, like, yo, blah, 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 Uncle Freezy, you got to understand. But no, I don't. I don't have to understand that, man. Listen, I've worked with vendors and people all the time, my whole life, bro. I understand what it's like negotiating with somebody, man. You know what I'm saying? I understand what it's like having two sets of attorneys on both sides, both negotiating. Yo, I left you a call Friday afternoon. Well, I was out of the office at 4:30. I had some such and such. Well, such and such way. And then, you know, ultimately what the business owners do, they get the two parties in a room. And they're like, we not leaving here till we get a deal done.
Face to face, eye to eye.
Right.
It works.
Right. Because what happens is a lot of times people don't give up stuff until you force them to give up stuff.
That's right. I agree.
Right. Like the Knicks don't want to give up all these draft picks for Donovan Mitchell, and I understand. And when every time, like, my heart's telling me, go get him. But my mind is telling me that, yeah, this is too much for Donovan Mitchell. Right. And so here's the thing. A smart person knows to take their emotions out and tuck their emotions in their back pocket and then do what's best for the entity. Whether that is do the deal or walk away. A lot of times you have to walk away. Right? A lot of times you have to walk away. That's just as simple as it gets.
Right. It's about the business, right?
Right. Walk away and like, no, we're not negotiating from there. We're just gonna. Hey, so D'Angelo, you ever bought a car before?
Oh yeah, plenty of time.
You know how you went, the dude is like when you hit a price, he's like, what?
That's right.
And he's like, yeah, man, but let me
talk
to my manager.
Long ago. Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, bro, you don't have to talk to your manager, man. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, no lie. All right. So
you try to walk out, but they hold you back, say, no, and then all of a sudden they grab you. No, wait a minute, you know?
Yeah, we have a special dealer's price just for the day or something crazy, right?
That's right.
Right. And I understand that. I understand where they're coming from because they want to maximize their return on their asset, right? I get it. But I want to stay within my budget. Right. And so for instance, I'm going, maybe I have like a few grand to put down. Let's say like $5,000 to put down. Right. And my monthly budget is $500. Right. I'm not conceding both. If I put this $5,000 down, I could see going over the $500 a month thing slightly, right?
Right.
I could see going over. I could see going over it slightly, right? Right. But if
$20.
Yeah, but that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
I've had that. Yeah.
Right. But if you can get me under, say, $500, if you can get me in that 480, 475 range, I could see maybe throwing a few extra $100 down. Right. I'll concede something. But I'm not going to get both. I know that.
No,
I'm not gonna get a lower down payment and a lower monthly payment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're not gonna get a higher down payment and a higher monthly payment. No, it's not how this works.
No.
Right? You concede one thing, and I'll concede the other, but no, you're not getting both. And if that's your stance, I'm gonna pull out of here and go next door.
And they'll end up with nothing because they don't want to lose you. They'll still want your money no matter what.
Right. Right. I did that. That happened to me. Well, I bought a truck brand new, 2016 Ford F-150 crew cab. Man, I love that truck.
Nice, that's beautiful. Yeah,
white. It's got like the real aggressive
Sweet.
tires on it.
Sweet.
The knob tires. You go down the road, they make that line going down the road. Man. I love that truck. Right, love that truck, man. Got everything with it, man. The bed liner was dope. Dude offered to give me one of those silver things to put in the back. What you call it? The
spoilers?
The toolbox. The toolbox. He offered to give me a toolbox to go in the back. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Cause I'm not a even though I'm crafty, bro, I don't just drive around with my tools and stuff in the thing.
No.
Right. My thing is we don't have that many men in our family. So the ladies always need for you. Can you pick up this couch from the furniture store? This stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? This stuff like that, right? So anyway, the dude tells me the price. I'm like, he's like, yeah, man. He's like, you didn't look at Kelly Blue Book? And you know what? And I did look at Kelly Blue Book. Right? I did.
You were prepared.
And I knew the price that he was saying was right? Like what it's worth. Right? But seeing it and hearing somebody say it out loud are two different things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? you look at the panel, it's got all the Navi, all this stuff. It's got like the mid console and the gearbox is right here by your hand and not on the steering column. Yeah, all that stuff, right? He said the price out loud. I was like, it took my breath away, bro. I was like, let me go get where y'all coffee at? God dog it.
You need to sit down for a second.
Yeah. So we negotiated. He's like, I tell you what. Take the truck for the weekend.
Really?
Right? This is what I live down south, bro.
Okay.
I live down south. So
it's over here.
yeah. You ain't doing that in East New York, I promise.
No.
right.
See you later.
Yeah. So I take the truck, right? I load the truck up. I take my son back to college, right? He came home for the weekend. Right. Take my son back to Clemson. Right. We were riding, and this thing feels like a Cadillac on the road, bro.
Oh, sweet.
And then all of a sudden, the sky bus open is pouring cats and dogs.
Really?
And I'm driving the truck with my finger, bro.
Oh.
This is how nice this truck is, right?
Wow.
This is how nice this truck is. And chat, I promise you, I'm gonna get back to the Knicks stuff. But I'm telling you, I'm telling this story because I want you to realize the difference between Quentin Grimes and Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Right.
Good point.
This is what I'm telling you this story because what I want you to do is realize the difference between Quentin Grimes and Donovan Mitchell. Bro, I'm so sleepy because I had been up all day in the dealership trying to negotiate. Right. Now it's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm tired. I got a 3-hour drive. You know what I'm saying? It's just a bunch of stuff. I'm on the road, bro. I'm driving on the interstate with my finger, bro. This truck is perfect. The truck is doing. And so me, my brother, my son, and my nephew, all of us are like 6'2" or bigger. Right? 6'2" or taller. Right. And me and my brother are big dudes, right? And our sons are probably they big, but not big like us. Our sons my nephew is probably at the time is like 270. My son at the time was like 240. So my son's like 6'3", 240. Bro, that's huge, right?
That's big.
I look back.
Have a lot of leg room.
Yeah, I look in the back. and he's snuggled up like a baby back there, bro. It's so much room. It's like limousine room back there, right?
Wow. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, so we get there, we unload all his stuff, man. I hug the baby. We outside in the rain, and all these, and yo, Sherwin, this is what I'm telling you. You gotta hear my point, bro. You gotta hear my point.
He's getting to it.
Yeah. So the deal is on the way back, my brother couldn't drive because my brother was disabled, right? So my brother couldn't drive.
Right.
I drive all the way back. I'm sleepy. I stop at this place. It's like 3:00 in the morning, right? I stop at this place. My brother's in the truck. I get out, throw the because the one thing that F-150 do, it won't pass on gas, bro. This truck is like RJ Barrett when it comes to gas, bro. Got to have it. Got to have. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I 3:00 in the morning, I walk in the store, and everybody is like fogging up the window, like, whose truck is that? Whose truck is that? That truck is beautiful. And the truck is up there. Sound like a monster, right?
Oh,
so I get the lady to dig. I'm like, yo, let me get $70 worth of gas on pump such and such.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Go out and pump the gas. And dude was like, is that your truck? Yeah, man, that's my truck. You know what I'm saying? That's mine, man. I'm because in my mind, I already made up my mind.
Yeah,
I'm going to buy the truck. I just got to convince the missus when I get back home. Right?
The boss.
Yeah, the real boss.
Yeah.
The real CFO of the company, the real accountant of the company, right? And so so I go back and the dude is like, hey man. So I take the truck back Monday morning, right? He was like, I was like, I don't think I can afford it. Right? He was like, did you like it? It's like, yeah, man, I love it. He's like, well, if you love it, wouldn't you? Does it fit your family needs? I'm like, yeah, man, I took my son back to Clemson. He's like, how did it ride? Did it perform well? I was like, yeah, man, it was great. He was like, well, what's holding you up? He was like, what, man, I might need to buy another car. He's like, listen, man, Andy, what's good, bro? And so he was like, yo, are you telling me that you are worried about buying another car when you have this truck right here? And it dawned on me, why would I consider getting 2 A-level cars when this vehicle here is an A++?
Right.
So what would I need? What do I need? What do I need with 2 Tyrese Halliburtons when I can go get one? When I can go get 1 Donovan Mitchell?
Right. Good point.
So basically, what I'm telling Knicks fans is this: why are you worried about what's going to happen in 2029? Right? What's going to happen in 2029 or 2028 or 2027? When you can worry about what's going on today. I'm not saying live for today and ignore tomorrow. What I'm saying is make sure that this moment that you're in right now is the best that it could possibly be.
Opportunity.
Yeah, right. What's good, Andy?
Yo, what up, Fleas? What up, King Kanji? Champ? How they call you now?
Yeah, he's a champ, bro.
King Kanji days. What up, D'Angelo?
Yeah,
good time, man. There you go.
Are you going to bash me for the Andre Karolinko comparison? I know Andre Karolinko's defensive net rating for his career is about 104, right? And it got increasingly worse as he got older. But I'm talking about a prime Karolinko. I'm not talking about Hey, Wiz. Hey, I'm gonna put you on mute for a second. Yeah, Wiz.
Nah, please, you know I don't bash you, bro.
Nah, man, I ain't talking about you bashing me, bro. I'm just saying the Karolinko comparison was just for the prototype, the type of player, the strong, agile wing player as the instead of the agile, smooth wing player. You don't see power wings in the NBA like that anymore, man. Like the guys that can guard guys by being strong and not giving ground. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, dudes have to be super agile because some nights the referee's whistle is ridiculous. What's up, Chef?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Oh man, you sound fantastic, bro.
Big difference, right? I know how it be when you be in the car. You can hear like the air.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
What's up, fellas? What's up, Andy?
What up? What up,
Hey.
worldwide?
Hey, and Andy, I'll be honest with you. The dude, Avdija, I wouldn't mind trading something for him right now too. I'd like him. I know you didn't like him at first.
But you know what was my point? I was at the Poland game versus Israel,
Right.
and the dude was sitting in the bench and he didn't even dress up, and I was sitting in the second row. I was mad at that kid.
Man,
I was
like I came.
I was like, I got tickets in the VIP lounge in the second row, and stuff like that. And this dude, even didn't warm up. So I was like, oh, nah. But Poland's going to play them, I think, around early September, or even late August in Prague. And I think they're going to be playing versus, and he's going to be there this time, I heard. So
okay.
Gonna see.
Okay. How do you like him? Do you think he's a player?
Listen, I think he's gonna be definitely a rotation piece, but I don't think he's nowhere close to that all-star even player in the league. That's definitely not the case. So
Okay. Man, I was all set to talk about Avdija, but now I don't feel
Yeah, you got to scratch that topic.
Yeah, how do you like Corey Kispert? You like Corey Kispert?
Listen, he's just a rotation piece.
What about Hachimura? You like Hachimura?
Oh, I think he might be the best of those guys. Maybe potential-wise, Avdija might be a little bit better, but I think currently, if I had to pick one of those three, I think I would go with Hachimura. And I know that he has those mental issues, those depressions and stuff like that we heard.
Right.
I think that when you get traded, you're gonna get like a fresh start, right? And I think that helps with the kind of mental problems that you're gonna have. I think that really you press the reset button when that happens. So I think that erases the most of the bad things, right? So
am I head over heels for Donovan Mitchell?
Listen, I heard you talk about that the deal should be done by now or we should walk away.
Right.
I'm not sure, because if I'm going to get Donovan Mitchell for Fournier, for example, Cam, and like 3 first-round picks, unprotected, Knicks first-round picks, I can wait for that kind of a deal. I can wait. I'd rather be it done by now, but I think this is going to be, kind of a game that they're going to, try to go into the camp. I mean, the Knicks front office is going to try to ride it out because, even if they don't get the deal done and, for example, the Heat or the Hornets make the deal, right? They're just going to be, telling the fans that, listen, they want way more from us.
Right.
And I think that's going to be the issue if they don't come out and tell the fans that, they just want. I'm not expecting them to throw names out. What was all our offer?
Right.
I would just go like, listen, they wanted like 7 first-round picks. We can only trade 4, but it will be like 4 and 3 swaps. That's what I would be cool with 4 first-round picks and like 2 swaps, because if we're getting Donovan Mitchell, I'm guessing those swaps ain't gonna happen because they're gonna be having a higher pick than us, right?
Right.
So that's why I'm not too mad about the swaps. But then again, 4 first-round picks is still much. still much.
And just as a longtime Knicks fan that's had my heart ripped out on multiple occasions, bro. Multiple occasions. Right. There was a Michael Jordan to the Knicks in 96 thing going on. And we waited since since he came out of retirement. Right. So we had to wait a year and a half. And then Michael Jordan said himself, nah, man, I ain't going to the Knicks. Their organization suck. And he said that in a New York airport, right? Right. There was a Shaquille O'Neal potentially to the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? As far back as when Shaq left in 96 to go to the Lakers. The Knicks are in play. The Knicks are in play. Right? Hey, what's up, Coach?
What's up?
And there are so many over the years. There was a LeBron James thing in 2010. Right? There's a Kevin Durant thing in 2019. Right? There was a Kawhi Leonard thing in 2020. Right? 2020 last year. Ron Cleveland came on and was like, yo, and Ron is my man. I love Ron Cleveland, but he was like, Ron almost guaranteed Kawhi coming because Kawhi uncle was in New York. He's like, yo, Kawhi uncle is in New York. And so we have all these things over the years and we don't get those guys and we settle for Quentin Grimes. Right? We settle for Frank Ntilikina's. We settle for Kevin Knox's, right? And so what smart fans are doing is like, Uncle Freezy, yo, you got to be smart about this. You got to wait. And I'm telling smart fans that, listen, man, we all have mental and emotional baggage from trying to be pitch perfect. I don't want to be pitch perfect in this respect. I want to do the deal. If we overpay, so what? Get Donovan Mitchell and trust that Leon Rose, the same dude that accumulated a lot of these assets in the first place, still has the talent to accumulate assets after the Donovan Mitchell trade. That's the direction I want to. I don't want to go through the Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler, Kevin Durant thing no more. I don't want to go through the only two teams on Anthony Davis trade wish list is the Knicks and the Lakers. I don't want to go through that no more, bro. I'm scarred, bro. I don't want to go through the Damian Lillard might want to he's disgruntled. He might want out, man. And the Knicks are the best. I don't want to go through that no more, man. Right? I don't want to go through the whoever pick in front of the Knicks in the draft is a Hall of Famer thing. I don't want to go through that no more, bro. I don't want to go through the passing on Clyde Drexler. Right? I don't want to go through the not having, you know, the foresight to trade up one pick to get Steph Curry. I don't want to go through that no more, bro. That's just my opinion. Paris Douglas says next year let's trade Donovan for Quickly, Grimes, and Obi. Bim, why not? That's just my stance. I'm not saying it's a responsible thing to do. All I'm saying is the Knicks have been through a lot of these scenarios over the years, bro, and we constantly get left holding the bag. Right? We never get the guy. We just get help. We just get left holding the bag. Think about Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving left they left certain things and signed with a New York team that wasn't the Knicks.
You're gonna be saying that with Ant on the panel? That's a little bit harsh, bro.
That's a low blow, Andy.
I ain't gonna tell the people what happened, bro.
Nah,
you were MAA like 2 years, Ant, so I ain't gonna pull that trigger.
Hey, champ. I'm sorry about pulling that Band-Aid off, champ. My bad.
Yeah, low blow.
My bad.
Low blow.
Nah, man. But I didn't intend for it to be that way. What I'm saying is these for those reasons, I want to either do a Donovan Mitchell deal or move on.
But Freezy, for example, what's the most that you're giving up for him?
Whatever it is that you said. Like whatever deal you're comfortable with, I'm saying I'm comfortable with it too. I'm just uncomfortable with the timeline, with how long it takes. That's not what I'm comfortable with. What I'm saying is, say for instance, you said 3 unprotecteds, a veteran or 2, and a young player or 2, depending on how good the young player is. Right? Say if it's Grimes and Miles McBride, I'm comfortable with that. Say if it's Obi and Miles McBride, or say if it's just random young player, just I'm comfortable. Say if it's IQ and Cam Reddish, Fournier, right? For the record, I don't want to put Fournier in that deal. I would rather put Rose in that deal, right? But I know you got to account for the cash. I understand that, right?
Yeah, but Freezy, what's going to be the pairing of players that you're going to tell Danny Ainge, listen, you ain't getting the amount of picks you want. If you're taking these young players, I ain't giving you all the picks you want. Or it's still going to be like 4 unprotected, and I can give you Obi, quickly, Grimes, and Fournier just to fill out the salary.
That's a lot, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a lot.
And listen, and I think I said already on Blorange Tears that for me, I think the picks are less valuable than even the players that we have. And it's not because I overvalue the young players, because I realize that currently they have not that much of a value for Danny Ainge, but for other teams, I could easily make a deal sending Obi for a player that the Knicks can use than the 2029 first round pick. You understand that, it's easier to trade Obi than a pick from 7 years in the future.
Right.
That's why, picks for me can go. I rather keep these players because, trading quickly and Obi as a pair, you can get a valuable rotation guy on the bench. I'm not saying like those guys. I'm saying like tier higher, right? So he can close out in case you have a injured player. He can step on into the starting lineup and stuff like that. So that's my case for keeping the young guys over trading them over picks, right? I rather do the 4 first round picks and 2-3 swaps than 3 first round picks and 3 players. Because young players, I mean, because Fournier, for example, for me, Fournier and Cam, they got to make the money work, and Fournier alone is not enough. And quickly and Obi have small contracts. That's why Cam has to go, or Rose. But if Rose goes with Fournier, then they have to put salary back on our side. So we're gonna be talking about or a young guy that they don't want, or we will have to add more players to acquire from them an additional Bogdanovich or a Clarkston, right? So
right. Man, I as far as the particulars go, still. Okay, so say that is our final offer, or our best offer, not final, but say that's our best offer, right? I say present that and give a timeline. Hey man, you got 7 days. 7 days you ain't doing it, we walking away. This whole stare down pissing contest thing is frustrating for a fan's perspective.
But Freezy, you know what might be also the case? That they are waiting because the players that they got from the Rudy Gobert trade from the Timberwolves, they're going to be available to get traded again on August the 30th. I think the Knicks should do the deal before that happens, unless they want a player from that pack, a Patrick Beverly or whatever they can get, right? Because if they don't want those players, it's going to be easier for the Hornets, for the Heat to get a third team to take those guys.
Right.
Because Patrick Beverly can get in I bet you like 25 teams from the NBA would take Patrick Beverly.
Yeah, of course.
So they would add a pick or two even to the poll for the Jazz just to get that, just to get Patrick Beverly, not Donovan Mitchell, but Patrick Beverly or another role player. They would do that. So I think that's where the Knicks that's the Knicks timeline. I think they gotta pull the trigger on the deal before August the 30th, before those guys be available to get traded again, because that's gonna be more competition for Donovan Mitchell.
Bro, man, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. The longer this thing goes out, and to your point, the longer this thing goes out, if it goes into September, more teams can get involved, basically, to what you're saying, right? And these teams have more attractive players that would be more appealing. I heard somebody mention the other day, like, you may not look at the Washington Wizards as a sexy team, so to speak, right? And their young core looks vanilla, right? Like, Abdija, what? Johnny Davis, what is a Johnny Davis, and Hachimura, Corey Kispert. They have another young player too, right? Who else do they have? Not Kyle Kuzma. I think they have another young talent.
Yeah,
right.
Porzingis.
Oh my goodness! Somewhere whose Mark just flipped over a table. As soon as you said it, somewhere whose Mark just kicked over some chairs. So as he said that, right? But
he the lone believer.
Yeah. I'm saying, man, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. The whole Donovan Mitchell thing in my mind. The more you break down what Donovan Mitchell does, the more you realize that on our team, he is a better fit than he was on Utah. Here's why. Here's why Donovan Mitchell with the Knicks is better than Donovan Mitchell with the Jazz. Right? Offensively, AD, what's going on, bro? yeah. So here's why, right? Here's why. When you take into account total team defense, the Knicks and the Utah Jazz are, guess what? Equal. It's a flat foot tie. Even with Rudy Gobert, the Knicks and the Utah Jazz are in a flat foot tie when it comes to defense, right? Even with Evan Fournier, who people hate for some reason, and his defense is very, very underrated, right? Even with RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, who people hate, even with Kemba Walker's whack defense, even with Derrick Rose's whack defense, even with a small forward playing point guard, right? Even with all those things, the Utah Jazz and the New York Knicks are tied for 9th in defensive rating, right? They have a defensive player of the year candidate every year, and the Knicks have dudes that supposedly can't play defense, and both teams are rated 9th, right? Here's where the difference is. Offensively, in my opinion, even though the Jazz ran a different type offense, they were higher than us in pace. I like the Knicks' offensive weapons better than the Utah Jazz's offensive weapons, right? I liked, say, the Conley versus our point guard thing. It depends on if Rose can stay healthy. Is Mike Conley a better offensive player than Derrick Rose? I don't know. I don't know. Right? Is Joe Ingles better than RJ Barrett? I don't know. I don't want to say. Is their power forward better than Julius Randle? No. Their power forward is not better than Julius Randle. Now, Is Rudy Gobert offensively better than Mitchell Robinson? No. Right? And here's why I say that. Because Rudy Gobert led the NBA in dunks. I think 3 out of the last 4 seasons. I think it's 3 out of the last 4 or 2 out of the last 4 or something like that. Right? Right? With Donovan Mitchell getting him the basketball. Right? You bring Donovan Mitchell here. What does that do to Mitchell Robinson? Can Mitchell Robinson lead the NBA in dunks? If Donovan Mitchell is and Jalen Brunson are getting him the basketball. I don't want to say yes, but I do think it's a conversation. Right? Now, with that said, the determining factor is what the Knicks have to give up in order to get Donovan Mitchell. Are the Knicks better than the Utah Jazz with Donovan Mitchell if they give up Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, and 5 first-round picks? Yes. That's where I make the decision. Is Evan Fournier, Derrick Rose, Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, do they provide more punch to their team than Donovan Mitchell to his team in Utah? No, they don't. And that's why you have to do the Donovan Mitchell deal. That's why if the asking price is high, you got to pay it. Because Evan Fournier, and I'm not knocking Fournier because he's good at what he does, right? He's good at what he does, right? He's good at what he's good at. Let me just say that. Evan Fournier is good at what he's good at, right? But is Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes, Derrick Rose, and say 5 first-round picks worth you not going after Donovan Mitchell? And y'all are going to say, well, it depends on where those first-round picks are. Well, if you get Donovan Mitchell, you know you're going to be a playoff team. So all those picks that you give up is going to be somewhere in the 16 to 30 range. Hopefully it's 30. Hopefully that those first-round picks you give up is pick number 30, right? Hopefully. But it's not guaranteed. But Donovan Mitchell gets you in that range where those picks are no longer somewhere in the range of 3 through 11. They slide to a 16 to 30 range. Now, are you saying that those unprotected picks 16 through 30 are worth Donovan Mitchell? 5 of them? And let me tell y'all who the Knicks picked recently with picks 15 to 16 through 30. Y'all want to hear that? Y'all want to hear me say Quentin Grimes? Y'all want to hear me say Leandro Balmero? You want to hear me say Emmanuel Quickley? Are you telling me that Evan Fournier, Derrick Rose, Emmanuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes as players, and then the picks, Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, Leandro Balmero, are worth not going to get Donovan Mitchell? You decide. It's up to you. I'm not telling you which way to think or the other, but what I am telling you is to conveniently be hypocritical about each one of these assets. To me, is asinine. It's asinine, right? The Knicks in the 20s picked Quentin Grimes, and you telling me that first round pick in the 20s that could be Quentin Grimes is worth holding up a deal, or Leandro Balmero, who we traded, or Emmanuel Quickley, who Oklahoma City actually drafted, but we traded the rights for. Right? What I'm saying is we are very hypocritical with our fandom. It's like we talk out both sides of our mouth at the same time and be super hypocritical for those that think at a higher level. Soon as somebody try to say something smart, we got the chat is lit up with people saying the opposite just for the sake of having their name go up and down the thing. Not everybody, but for those that are, you know who you are. Man, I ain't giving up. I'm not giving up all that just for Donovan Mitchell, because you never know what 3 Quentin Grimes could be, right? You don't. You don't know what 3 players the caliber of Quentin Grimes could be and 2 players the caliber of Emmanuel Quickley can be. And I know people will say, well, Jokic was picked in the second round. Well, if Jokic was picked in the second round, how come the Knicks didn't pick him? The Knicks picked Clee Anthony early in that draft. Y'all got to come with something smarter. Don't come at me with dumb stuff. Like, well, Jimmy Butler went 30. Yeah, Jimmy Butler went 30, but didn't y'all take Amon Shumpert? Don't be coming at me with the dumb stuff, bro. You gotta come at me with smarter stuff than that, man. You gotta come at me with better stuff. I understand that this our live stream and I love all y'all. You know what I'm saying? But bro, to say not do a Donovan Mitchell deal just because you have faith in guys that hadn't shown you anything yet, I dig it. I get that point. But what I'm saying is to say I'm going to draft Gerald Wilkins in the second round because he's athletic like Jordan is dumb. And I heard that before. Trust me, I was there. 16, 17 years old, I heard that, right? Oh, that Michael Jordan kid, all he do is shoot. We could get our own Michael Jordan in the second round. And we drafted Gerald Wilkins. And we waited 6 years for Gerald Wilkins to become Michael Jordan. And he became Harold Jordan.
I was about to say, he became the lead singer for the Blue Notes.
Yeah, right. And so what I'm getting at is everybody has their own opinion. What I'm saying here is I'd like to elevate the conversation to a different place, right? I want to think through the process, right? And I know Andy is always short on time, bro. Andy, I'm sorry if I get long with it, man. I'm sorry, but I just like to think through processes, right? Like I like to think my way through this. I don't like doing a knee-jerk thing when it comes to like the evaluation. I just want to what is each pick worth? So say we start with 23. Say we start do 23, 25, 27, 29. Can you identify who is so important in 29 that we have to hold on to that pick?
That's my point. I'm not afraid of trading those picks. Like I said before, Fizzy, you highlighted my comment. Listen, the guys, the draft class in 2029, currently, today, tomorrow, and yesterday, are the 12-year-old and 13-year-old kids currently walking on this earth. And we're waiting for those guys. We're counting on those kids to become the players that we're willing not to take 25-year-old 4-time All-Star.
Mm-hmm. Now, another argument that people do make is, which again is the defeatist argument of if he gets injured, we just throw away all those picks for a player gets injured. The second one is obviously the picks, where the argument just made it right now, just crush the argument with the picks. Now, the third one, which Andy and I may disagree on, is the making the move now rather than later. And the argument for making it now, and Fuzi, you actually started a couple weeks ago, was Boston just picked up another player right now in free agency. The longer we wait, the more free agents going to be picked up that could have filled out the roster and took those spots.
We could have legit had JaMychal Green, bro. We could have had JaMychal Green coming off our bench. Right. Exactly. But Sarge, let's do it one at a time. Let's do it one at a time. Because I think you made 3 points, right? Yeah. And honestly, the first point you made, I already forgot. Because of what you said.
Injured. I'm getting injured.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So if the injury thing is a concern for Donovan Mitchell, why is it not a concern with the guys you already have on your roster?
There we go.
Could I also add into that injury thing, Freezy? Because I've heard this too. Let's say if we're going to do the theoretical thing, right? Right now, theoretically, if knock on wood, if Mitchell goes down, he's still a member of the Jazz. If he goes down for like a year, right? He still has more value than our young players next year.
Right.
So I don't see how the injury is really an issue. Like, I think if anything, it goes to show you how much value he does have. Because even if he got injured right now, you still give up all those players and those picks.
Right. Right. And so here's and Sarge, here's another thing to your injury thing, right? One of the things I heard was, what if Donovan Mitchell has an injury that robs him of his athleticism? Now what? Right.
Right.
And so Wiz, this is a concern I have, because I don't want to be hypocritical. Because if you say that for Donovan Mitchell, right? What happens if Quentin Grimes gets an injury that robs him of his athleticism? Then what? What if Obi has an injury that robs him of his athleticism? Then what? Right?
Yeah.
Right? So everybody making an argument. The hypocritical thing is you're doing the worst case scenario for one and not the worst case scenario for the other, and it makes it look like scared Knicks fans, petrified Knicks fans that are afraid to get out of mediocrity. Right? Like the housewife that hadn't been out in a while, right? And listen, and Mo go through it sometimes too. Like, we'll have an event. She hadn't been anywhere in a while. I'm like, Mo, we got an event, man. You know what I'm saying, with some such and such. And Mo will be like, oh man, that means I gotta go get my hair done. I gotta go buy. I'm not ready. No, boss lady, trust me. You ready as hell. You ready. Right? You ready. Like, it's like it's the housewife thing. Like, you're so used to not going to this stuff for one reason or another. Now when it's time to go, you feel like you ain't ready. Nah, boss, you ready. You fine, boss. I ain't the only one that say that. The Knicks fans, y'all ready. You ready to take the next step. Stop miring in mediocrity because you're afraid of what the next step will be. Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says, why are Donovan Mitchell's dunk highlights from 2 and 3 years ago? I don't know. I have a lot of opinions, but that one I don't know. Hey, coach, you breaking up, coach? Oh man, coach got caught up in. Coach sounded like computer love just now.
Yeah. But yeah, fear of the unknown is a huge paralysis analysis type movement right there. Fear of the unknown. Sometimes you're so scared of something, and fear of success is also a fear that sometimes cripples people. Is that fear of success? You don't know what. You just have that fear that something's going to go wrong, so you rather than make the move because that fear, basically paralyzes you, and then that analysis paralysis. You're like, right. Man, let's take a look. Okay, how about this? Let's use this combination, and you start to put up 16 different possibilities of how to make a deal. Instead of just going, you know what? Cut the cord. Let's make the deal. Drop the fear. Let's make a move.
Do the damn deal, please.
Do the damn deal.
Okay, guys, I got a question. If you guys want to do this deal really, really fast.
Yes.
If doing the deal when sending out less picks, Fournier and RJ Barrett, are you doing the deal?
Why do you want to trade Fournier, bro?
He has to go because the salary has to match.
He don't have to go.
But you can go.
We can sign and trade Barrett. Let's sign and trade Barrett.
No, you can't because the money's going to kick in. No, you can't because the money's going to kick in after the season. So you will have to wait.
Repeat the question, Andy.
Okay.
That if you guys want to make the move so fast, and for example, Danny Ainge would do the move, but for example, you have to give them RJ.
RJ and what?
Does he need it?
RJ Fournier as a salary filler, and the number of picks is going to be like 2 first-round picks, let's say.
2 first-round picks and a gang of seconds?
Or swaps, whatever. But I'm going to limit it to like 2 first-round picks. If they're taking RJ, it's like max 2 first-round picks.
Can I let him borrow my suitcase to pack? I can have RJ. I can ship it to him right now.
That's not a problem.
Yeah,
I can ship it my suitcase right now.
I'm not.
I'll bring the U-Haul. I'm gonna get a U-Haul, help him take it. It's a long trip.
Andy, I'm not willing to trade RJ for nobody right now. Unless Michael Jordan come out. If I could get Michael Jordan at 23, if I could get Michael Jordan at 26.
I see Freezy digging up the RJ stats now.
I don't care about the stats. I don't care about the stats. I don't care about the stats. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. Now, would I understand the move? Yes, I would. You know, would I be upset? Yes, I would. Yeah. Would I get over it? Yeah, I would. Well, I know Mitchell's the better player. That's not why I don't want to trade RJ. He's our player. He's my player. So I want to see
KP
one of our players.
Too. Well, why KP was?
Yeah, but KP asked for the goal. KP asked to go.
Yeah.
See, KP asked to go. That's the thing with KP. He asked to go, right? I didn't want KP to go neither, Andy.
Yeah,
I didn't want KP to go.
Bro. They boxed KP in a corner, though. In my opinion, they boxed KP in a corner, right? And then when he tried to fight his way out, they was like, look, he fighting, he's swinging. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I felt about it, right? Because when you some of those lineups you saw with Porzingis, bro.
I'm not a billionaire, but you know what? I'm still alive, right? Exactly, healthy and alive.
I think Sarge negotiating for number 7.
Yeah, Sarge negotiating at the KFC drive-through.
Yeah.
Sorry,
sorry about that. No, ain't nothing to a whiz. We joking with you, bro. We joking with you. Danny Thomas, thank you for the generous contribution. Danny Thomas says, rather give up more picks than young players to get Mitchell, I would trade 4 unprotected first-round picks, 2 protected first-round picks, 48 cam IQ for Mitchell. Thoughts? That's a lot, bro. So you said 4 unprotected, right? 2 protected, that's 6. 48 cam IQ.
I'd still do it.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. Bro. That's a lot, bro. That's a lot. Now, listen, if they do the deal, I'm not saying I'm boycotting the Knicks. No, I'm not saying that.
Put your hand over your eyes and jump in. That's it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I'll still be at Knicks games, and I'll still be at Knicks games in DC, in Charlotte, in Atlanta, in Memphis, in Miami. I'm still going to them games, bro. I love Atlanta, man. I love Charlotte. I love being in that environment. You know what I'm saying? Wearing the orange and blue, wearing my orange and blue hoodie, representing for the city. I love it, bro. I love it, man. I you know what I'm saying? It's one of them deals. I just like doing it, man. I'm a Knicks fan through and through. I'm still gonna represent, right? If they do the deal, I'll be like, good God Almighty, you paid that much. But like my son, I ain't gonna say which one. My son was like, Pops, man, I'm going out with Charlene this weekend, and I'm like, you going out with Charlene this weekend? Yo, ain't that such and such daughter? And in my mind, I'm like, yo, such and such is fine as hell, boy. And then I'm like, she got a daughter? And my son's like, yeah. And she looked better than her mama. And I'm like, oh. And my son's like, yo, Pops, yeah, I'm taking her out, man. But I need a favor. I don't get paid until Tuesday. You know how when you work at the fast food joints, they pay you on like these weird days. You get paid like the 15th or the 30th or some weird mess, and your payday always be like on a weird day, right? So he's like, yeah, but I don't get paid until Monday night. And I'm like, so? He's like, it's Charlene. I'm like, what that got to do with me? I'm married. He's like, yo, I need to borrow $250. I'm like, what did you just ask me? Pops, I need to borrow $250 to take out Charlene Friday night. $250? Are you crazy? He's like, Pops, it's Charlene. Stop playing, man. Don't do that, Pop Dupes. It's Charlene, man. Did you see Charlene? I don't need to see her. I don't even spend $250 on your mama on the weekend. He's like, Pops, it's Charlene, though, man. Look, he pulled out his phone and he showed Charlene. And I'm like, God damn. So what's your Cash App again? You know what I'm saying? So what you say your Cash App was? You know what I'm saying? Like what I'm getting at is sometimes the asking price is ridiculous until you understand what it is that you're getting. Right? So Danny Thomas, I feel you with what you would pay, and if the Knicks did that, I would be like, what? Until I saw the Spider Mitchell press conference, and then I would forget about all that stuff I paid.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm sorry.
It was like during the Melo trade when everyone was complaining about Wilson Chandler and Danilo Gallinari being shipped out, and then people forgot who Wilson Chandler was after a week of Carmelo playing for the Knicks.
Right. As soon as you heard that song, "I'm Coming Home," as soon as you heard "I'm Coming Home," it was over.
It was like, Wilson, who?
Wilson who? Yeah, exactly.
Mozgov who?
As soon as you heard that song, "I'm Coming Home," the only Wilson you knew was that volleyball from that Tom Hanks movie. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Yeah.
I'd also add, like, I mean, the deal's gonna be expensive because that's what stars go for now.
Right.
I mean, the Paul George was a big trade. Gobert was a big trade. Ben Simmons and Harden were big trades. I don't know what, like, that's the precedent for star players. So I don't know what player exists that's not going to cost this much. Whether you personally agree with it or not is neither here nor there, but that's what the NBA market says, right? Like that's what it's funny too, because Knicks fans were talking about Jalen Brunson's contract and saying, well, that's the NBA market. The market's dictated that that's what guys like him get, whether you agree with it or not.
Right.
Well, this is what the NBA market is dictated for trade for stars. He's a 3-time All-Star at 25.
Right.
He's going to cost as much. Like, he's going to cost as much. So I don't know what player exists.
But coach, here's the more pertinent question to what you just said. Why do Knicks fans feel exempt from paying the going rate for anybody?
Because we probably more than most franchises overhype our young guys is what it is. Like, that's what it is. Like, think about it this way. Look at it objectively. Who's the crown jewel player going to the other side potentially?
Oh my goodness, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, usually there is one. And if there's not a crown jewel player going to the other side, then you make it up for with picks. Right. So it's either you have the picks or you have the players. You never do both, right?
Right.
We don't have the players. Like, we don't. You could like our guys all you want, but one's a 3-time All-Star at 25 on a favorable contract, and the other 3 guys or 4 guys or whatever, they're barely starters for our team. So I don't know. Like, you gotta make it up with the picks. You gotta make it up with the picks.
Right. Right. Hey, Paris Duggar, thank you for your generous contribution. Paris Duggar says, they say a fool in his capital always parts. Is Paris Duggar calling the host of the joint a fool?
He sure is.
Yeah.
But let me piggyback on a little bit on what the coach was alluding to. When you have a fan base that have a special affinity for a player like Frank Ntilikina.
Ouch.
What does that say? What does that say for their overall basketball intelligence? That they're gonna tell you that what you're seeing on screen is really not what you're seeing. He's actually better than that. Is he on a team?
He is.
Is he in the league?
Yeah, man. You know he played for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I'm joking. I'm trolling Andy, right? I'm trolling Andy, right? You know he plays for the New Zealand Breakers, bro. Come on, bro. Frank is the backup power forward for the New Zealand Breakers.
Like Frank literally had people really thinking that there was something there.
Yeah. Hey, how did we get Frank, by the way? How did we acquire Frank?
Because the old man fell asleep on the job and didn't see Donovan Mitchell's workout
Right. So basically, we acquired Frank with a draft pick, right?
Draft pick,
With
yep.
the unprotected New York Knicks draft pick, we drafted Frank Ntilikina.
Top 10.
And we want to, and in that same mode of thinking, we want to save those unprotected first round picks that we used on Frank Ntilikina, Kevin Knox types, and not ship them away to get Donovan Mitchell. Now, I know what people are going to say. Hey, man, nah, bro, you can't really say that. It's a new regime. Okay. Well, this regime also picked Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, and Quentin Grimes in the first round. And I'm not knocking Obi. I'm not knocking the other two dudes. What I'm saying is like what Coach said, and we'll use the Paul George trade for an example. The Paul George trade, you know what the Clippers gave up to get Paul George?
SGA.
Right? And the Knicks are talking about giving up Quentin Grimes as the headliner. And Knicks fans still think that's too much. Mind you, he couldn't beat out the fake scapegoat in Evan Fournier. Like, people have this fake hate for Evan Fournier, which is ridiculous. Not only did he break John Stark's 3-point record, but he had the same defensive rating as RJ Barrett, right? I think Andy pointed that out. To me. That's why I looked at it. And I appreciate you for doing that, Andy, because I was killing Fournier up here, right? Until I took a deep dive in the numbers. So I don't want to take credit for something that wasn't mine. Somebody else's work.
Put my name on that Fournier's defense. Yeah. Rub it in.
I'm trying to avoid the bullets that are coming, Andy. I got to throw you out front. But the thing is Evan Fournier is not as bad of a player as what people think. But the thing is, every time the Knicks lose, we have to find a scapegoat. Like one year, our scapegoat was Elfrid Payton. The starting point guard on a playoff team was the scapegoat. You ship him off, and you're back in the lottery. Was I a part of those throwing stones at Elfrid Payton? Yes, but we live and learn. The lesson learned. The lesson learned there. Yeah, but I learned. But I learned the lesson. The lesson learned for me. The lesson learned for me is don't be quick to draw conclusions. Look at data. And ever since I did that, man, I've been looking at data. Say who's the real problem. Don't go by what people tell you. Look it up yourself. Research it yourself. That's what I learned. And now that's what I do.
Okay, can you tell me the time in Evan Fournier's career where I think outside of a year where he was on a team that went to the playoffs? His numbers.
He went to the playoffs with Boston.
Yeah. Boston didn't need him to get to the playoffs. They were going anywhere. He's what you call a passenger.
Okay.
He's what you call a passenger. And is that what you're paying a passenger $80 million?
AD, did you pay? But you're not paying him $80 million a year. You're not paying him $80 million a year, right? You paid him 72 for 4 years, right? And so you're paying him $18 million a year, right? $18 million that you don't pay any superstar in the NBA $18 million a year, right? Right. Evan Fournier is a average starter at best, right? An average starter at best. Right now, he's an average starter at best at about 14 something a game. He shoots the three really well. He's durable, and he's a veteran, right? Now, what star in the NBA are you paying $18 million a year for 4 years?
None.
$18 million a year. Right? $18 million a year. Right? And so you're paying him $80 million a year. You're not paying him $80 million a year. You're not paying him $80 million a year. Right? $18 million a year.
None. But I wasn't gonna pay. I wasn't gonna pay a mediocre. I wasn't gonna pay a mediocre player that deal neither.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna sign Evan Fournier. No way, no how.
Right.
Evan Fournier is not a winning ball player to me.
Right. Okay. I get that. And you know what? And I could agree with you solely on the basis that before Evan Fournier, the Knicks were a playoff team. With Fournier, they missed the playoffs. Just solely on that basis. I know that's not fair, but if we're dealing with absolutes, then that's the absolute truth. Before Evan Fournier, we were a playoff team. With Fournier, we're not. Nobody can dispute that. Now, how fair that is?
Because
how fair that is? It's not fair, but it's an absolute.
Because how much better is Evan Fournier than the guy that left?
Reggie Bullock.
How much better is he than Reggie Bullock? That you're gonna give him Reggie Bullock end up signing, I think, with Dallas for like what, 2 years or something like that, 12 million,
3 years, 30 million, yeah.
3 years, 30 million.
And why didn't Reggie Bullock got paid that 18 million that Fournier got paid somewhere else?
He's not gonna get that money because he's not valued like that.
Yeah, he's not
so Fournier's valued a little bit more than Bullock then.
In the Knicks' eyes. In the Knicks' eyes. Because what that deal did is that deal takes up salary space from a guy that is not that much of an improvement than the guy you had. Is he head and shoulders better than Bullock?
On the offensive end, definitely. On defense, I think Bullock is better like at the defensive end as a one-on-one defender.
Right. Okay.
Bullock also had chemistry with
Randall. He's
Randall.
going to have chemistry this year if he stays.
Right.
I'm only talking about the facts. Bullock also had chemistry with Randall.
But because he was playing with Randall 2 years.
Right.
That was his second year.
Right.
The first year he was garbage.
The first year, you remember the first year, Elfrid Payton, Wayne Ellington, Reggie Bullock, Julius Randle. That was
Wayne
trash.
Ellington was starting before Bullock.
Yeah,
so imagine that.
I choose not to remember those years.
Yeah, you choose not.
I choose not to remember that.
Hey, Cody, all I'm going to say is there was a game in Atlanta when the Knicks were up by 6 in overtime, and blew the game because Wayne Ellington and Reggie Bullock wouldn't pass to RJ Barrett. Y'all remember that?
Wayne Ellington
they specifically waved him off. RJ, get out of here. You're a rookie. We got it. And we lost by 4 in overtime.
That was one of the worst years. That was one of the worst Knick years in recent memory.
I can take Mike
the
Miller.
Knox rookie year.
Bro.
Yeah, it was so bad.
I could take Mike Miller and put him in a slingshot and flick him into the sun, bro.
People wanted him to be our coach. Remember that?
I know this.
I
got called stupid over that.
People wanted that man to be our coach.
Yes,
I was like, what am I hearing right now? When I heard that, I was like, what are you guys talking about?
Right. And then when the Heat was on Fizdale to get fired, I was pounding the table for a dude named Caleb Canales. And I know a lot of people don't know who he is, and I don't really care at this point because he's gone. but Caleb Canales, Caleb Canales was one of the architects of Dame Time, right? Mm-hmm. And instead of you bringing in the architect of Dame Time along with Terry Stotts, working together, but Terry Stotts and Caleb Canales, and as opposed to bringing in Mike Miller, you bump Caleb Canales out of the way, put him on the back burner, and then brought in Mike Miller, which right then let me know the Knicks are a grease fire. Because Mike Miller was living off the hype of Tony Wooten and the Burks kid. What's Trey Burke? Trey Burke. You living off Trey Burke and Tony Wooten, as opposed to the dude that invented or helped invent Dame Time.
Not to mention, Freezy, that he was an interim, but he was an interim head coach in the NBA.
Right.
Not for 5 games. He was an interim coach for a couple of months.
Right.
It was like half the
Mike
season,
Miller
right?
was like, he was at top of his job. He was in the Westchester Knicks.
Right. And Caleb Canales was the coach after Nate McMillan was fired, right?
In Portland?
In Portland.
Yeah.
After
He
Nate
might have
McMillan
held
was
it down
fired.
until Stotts got there.
Yeah, that's what I think happened.
Yeah.
And so you pick a dude named Mike Miller. And every time I say Mike Miller, people say, didn't he play shooting golf? No, not that Mike Miller.
I like Mike Miller's game though. I liked him.
Yeah. Not that Mike Miller, man. I'm talking about the old man Mike Miller who ran horns every time down. Coach, what's the play? You know the play. It's tattooed on my heart. Now during his stretch, we did lead the NBA in points in the paint, and we're top 5 in rebounding, but we were terrible from 3. Right? Y'all remember that? Remember when we couldn't shoot the 3? That's why when Tibbs came in the next year and we shot 39.2% from 3, we were like, oh my God, we're the Golden State Warriors now. Nah, no, we're not. We shoot it at a high clip, but we don't shoot it often enough.
Do you remember when Tibbs got hired, or the rumors were that he was going to get hired? Like they kept strangely asking him about what he was going to do about our 3-point percentage. You remember that? That's so weird. That was so weird. I'm like, I never seen a coach be asked that. Like, it was so strange.
What Tibbs did? Coach, remember what Tibbs did? He made them shoot like 53 pointers in the preseason.
Yeah, I remember. And then like, because Tibbs is a stubborn old mule, right? And then like the first few months, he just made everyone shoot threes nonstop. It's just so weird. There's this weirdness going on with his hiring. Anyways.
Yeah.
I've never seen a coach ask that on their press conference.
Yeah.
They asked him that because they know his offense is prehistoric wrecks. His offense is way back when. They basically wanted him to like, yo, do you plan on using more 3-pointers in the modern game?
Listen, I think they asked him because he was like with the Golden State Warriors for a season or two, as maybe not even as an assistant. He was just
consulting.
Yeah, he was consulting.
Yeah, that's why they were thinking that no matter who's going to be on the roster, he's going to be chucking threes.
Right.
So, he's also the USA basketball staff
assistant. Assistant. Yeah.
Yep. And so my thing with the entire process up to today, Andy, that's why I'm impatient with the way that we move in NBA circles. That's why because listen, over the course of the last 5 years, anytime we get time to become Barney Fife or Goma Powell, guess what we do? We become both at the same time. We botch it up. We nick it up. We nick it up, right? We legit become Barney Fife. We're good at it though. We're good at failing fantastically. We're fantastic at failing in front of a large audience. We're good at that, bro. Right. And so now you're asking me to be patient with the Donovan Mitchell deal and the buzzes are circling overhead. Like, this thing is dying. If this thing dies, how can we pick the Knicks apart for the next 2 years? And all I'm going to hear is when Donovan Mitchell gets traded to, say, Brooklyn or somewhere, all we're going to hear is the Knicks had him in the palm of their hands and they let him go.
Yeah.
Like the Knicks had
KD.
KD.
That's definitely going to be the case.
Yeah, the Knicks had KD, but then the owner said, I want to see the physicals.
Freezy, listen, the Knicks front office is in a lose-lose situation here.
Right.
If they make a deal, the fan base is going to split. I'm not saying it's going to be 50-50, but the fan base is going to be split because, oh, you gave up Cam. I wanted to keep Cam.
Right.
You gave up Grimes. Grimes was the deal breaker. They're going to be fans like that. And, for me, I'm going to judge the deal in a year, 2 or 3. I'm not going to, I can say my assessment, how I feel about the deal, but I'm going to judge it like after the season, after 2 seasons. Because, if you want to jump on and say like, listen, we gave up too much. And 25%, I'm going to be like, so.
I get what you're saying, bro. But you know what makes this thing worse? The thing that makes this worse is the slow burn. Right? Because if he had did this and got it over with, there wouldn't be a slow burn. And that's what we're going through right now. It's the reason why people are frustrated. Because of the slow burn that's happening. Because you're right. There is going to be a pro Spider crowd and anti-Spider crowd, right? And the anti-Spider crowd is going to say stuff like, well, we only made the Eastern Conference Finals. He didn't win us a championship.
Yeah.
If you give up that much, he's supposed to bring you a championship. And the pro Donovan crowd is going to be like, what? You won 37 games the year before, and this year you made the Eastern Conference Finals, and you thought one man was going to take you from 37 wins to an NBA title? That's what the conversations are going to be like. I'm here for it. I like the conversations, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there is a level of unreasonable expectation on both sides. I'm saying I don't care nothing about them draft picks. Because I saw the Knicks draft Frank Ntilikina, Kevin Knox, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, and all 5 of them dudes together, plus Fournier and Rose, does not equal Donovan Mitchell. I'm sorry, but not sorry.
At all. At all. At all.
Yeah, I don't care about Knicks draft pick because historically we're probably like the worst drafting team in the league. Right?
Nah,
like historically?
The worst teams. No, the worst teams. We just don't pay attention to them.
The only 2 picks that we've hit on in our history is Ewing and Barrett. Which were like obvious slam dunk picks.
KP was a good pick.
Yeah, but no one liked him. We didn't even know what was going to happen there. That was lucky.
Yeah, but it was lucky. But the facts were that he was still a good pick.
Okay, I'll give you KP. That's 3. But other than that, we've never really hit. Historically, we've just never really drafted well ever. Clyde, if you want to go way back, Mark Jackson, I guess, but he wasn't. He was in and out. Like he always bounced between us. We've never been like, okay, this is our guy. We're going to bring him all the way up. We've never really done that.
No.
And so I'm like, I don't care historically about Knicks draft picks. And you know what? Another thing, too, that's interesting is, everyone talks so highly about Walt Perrin. Walt Perrin's whole MO is that he drafts late anyways. He doesn't care about top 10 picks. Like, he's made his career off getting, like, guys in the 20s. Like, that's his thing. So, yeah, trade the picks because they're going to be late picks anyways. He'll find value late, right? If that's your guy, he'll find value late. Like he doesn't, you know what I mean? He's not like a guy he's not like Ainge, who like will take the chance on Tatum or something like that. He's not like that. Perrin's always been like, give me the 24th pick and I'll find some guy from the All-America conference. You know what I mean? That's always been this thing. So I don't understand why people are valuing these picks. And we haven't drafted with this regime. OB got drafted because he's family, just like Brunson is, and he's CAA and all those connections.
Right.
Other than that, we don't want anything to do with a top 10 pick, this front office. They don't want anything to do with it. They'll trade it down for some more assets or whatever. We don't care. We'll find the Quickleys and the Grimes of the world. We'll find the Mitchell Robinsons of the world. So I don't care about
the Trevor Keels of the world.
Yeah.
That's my guy. I'm getting a Keels tattoo later.
We never got to talk about Keels because that's a different conversation, Freezy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm getting a Trevor Keels tattoo on my leg after dinner.
Yo,
so
Freezy, he won a Gatorade for the children camp I saw today, I think, or yesterday. Okay. He made a half-court shot, so he made it.
What? Was he guarded? Or was he out there by himself?
It was like he had to make a bunny, a free throw, 3-pointer, and then from the half court. And he missed the first one, but they made him repeat it, and he made the second one. So
okay, bro. Yeah, I think we're tough sledding, bro. Andy, like what you're saying. I think you made an excellent point, man. My only deal is the slow burn is what makes this thing torture. And it's the reason why people react the way that they do. It's not about what you do. It's the timeliness of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sounds like an over complication of something that should be simple, right?
We have no time for the slow burn.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's summer. We have nothing else to talk about. Because think about this. If these rumors were going on during the season, at least every other night we could watch a Knicks game, right? But since this is going on during the summer where there is no other Knicks news and your prize free agent is an average to good point guard, what else do we have to tell you? You didn't draft a first round pick. So what else is there to talk about? You feel me? Because you didn't think about this after Hartenstein. Who else did the Knicks sign onto a roster spot? Nobody. So there is nothing for else to talk about because Jalen Brunson, though he may be an average to good point guard, his personality is not the one that enamors Knicks fans to him. He's not like an Obi Toppin type guy smiling all the time, walking around with man purses and high water pants and doing windmill dunks on the fans break. That's not Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is a guy. He's just a dude. He like your homeboy. He like your homeboy. Yo, we going to Connecticut? Yeah, I'll pay for the gas then. He that dude. You know what I'm saying? He ain't nothing special. He ain't all out the way. He ain't flashy. So
organizing his sock drawer, Freezy.
Yeah, basically. And Isaiah Hartenstein, you don't even know what he is. With a name like Hartenstein, he reminds you of that center from that movie Eddie. Y'all saw that movie Eddie? Y'all remember that movie Eddie? Put ball in dunk.
That's so wrong. That's so wrong.
Now is he that guy? No, he ain't that guy.
That's so wrong.
Isaiah Hartenstein is a cool dude. Like he cool. His pops played at Baylor. He a cool guy. But we hadn't seen that yet because we hadn't seen the Isaiah Hartenstein press conference. Right? Did the Knicks do a press conference for Hartenstein? Nah.
No, they did not.
Right. So now he's another dude. So nothing else to talk about. So we have to talk about the Donovan Mitchell slow burn with the Utah Jazz. And how it frustrates fans. Right?
And it goes to the point, my other point of there are free agents that are on the board that we could be looking at if we knew what the team was going to be like. That we're simply getting picked up by the teams in our conference.
In our conference, bro.
That's a scary part for me, to watch Boston sign somebody. I'm like, why is he signing somebody? They just won. They were the Eastern Conference champion. Well, they signing somebody, getting their team better, that's sitting there languishing right now. I'm just, by the way, Andy, you're a Fournier guy. The reason I'm not a Fournier fan is how late we signed him in the free agency last year. The fact that he was still hanging around and we signed him so late for that amount. There was no bidding war, really, that I know of for Fournier services. And I fear
bidding war.
Hey, Wiz, you doing them dirty, bro. You got to take into consideration the World Championships was happening last year too. That's part of the reason. Remember the World Championships was going on last year. A lot of people signed late. A lot of international players.
Ain't nobody care about Kung Fu Fournier signing.
Oh man,
Bidding war.
Bidding
war.
Come on, man. I never said a bidding war. What I said was a lot of these players were away from the States, you know what I'm saying, playing in the world championships.
Except Kemba. Kemba was available.
Yeah, Kemba was super available. And I don't think Detroit cut him yet. Y'all know Detroit ain't cut him yet, right?
Oh, you're saying you're saying the Knicks snuck them under the cover of championship basketball and people being away and taking vacations, and that's how come Fournier got his press conference. Is that what you're saying?
And then the thing too that y'all don't realize is this: we didn't just pay Evan Fournier. I think we also paid the Boston Celtics in a sign and trade for Fournier.
Right, because we gave him an exception or something like that.
Yeah, they got an exception, but the exception already is ran out.
Yeah,
they didn't use it. So.
Yeah, they didn't even use it. So what did we give them? 2 second-round picks? I think we gave them 2 second-round picks for in a sign and trade for Evan Fournier, right?
Yeah, and that's got cap space for the deal.
And they got cap space. Yeah.
And then we gave million.
And then we gave them, yeah. So if we're gonna be transparent, just speak to all the details now. I like what Fournier brought to the table. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I'm just saying it's.
Did I like him at first though? No.
I enjoy Fournier too. Freeze. Fournier is my guy.
It's not your reason for your argument for McBride being a breakout player when he may not see at the time. So that's it.
McBride's gonna be the breakout player this year. If that trade goes through, right? If the trade goes through, think about what I'm saying. If the trade goes through and a lot of these young guys go, and McBride is still here,
okay.
Just off of that alone, I think McBride slides up the depth chart. Now, am I saying he's going from the 13th player to the 8th player? No, or maybe. But what I'm saying is I think he'll get more minutes this year.
Okay.
Just off of, and same thing with Farron Hunt. I think Farron Hunt will go from the 15th player to maybe the 11th player on the roster. You know what I'm saying? Just off of familiarity alone.
I mean, I was calling Deuce CP3 2.0 last year, so I'm not gonna argue with that. Okay, so I mean, I'm crazy already. I'm ready to Deuce high super fan. I love Deuce more than some of you guys like Frank.
Nah, bro. There are fans out there right now that can't wait till Frank becomes a free agent. They want Frank back.
And he's back with the CAA.
He's back with CAA
too. Frank is back with CAA? Oh, boy. Hey, and so Jalen Brunson got the blessing from Frank to wear number 11. Did y'all see that?
Yeah. I did see that. That was so random. I'm like, we need his blessing. Just take the damn number.
Yeah, who was Frank?
Who's Frank, dude?
It's not like
exactly. Exactly.
They didn't take it out the ceiling, bro.
Yo, he must have paid. He must have paid Frank off when they were at Dallas. When they knew that he's gonna sign with the
some
Knicks.
Barbecue or something.
Yeah, had to be there.
Yep.
What, something out the vending machine?
Jeez. When I read that, I was like, "Give me a break, Brunson. Just give me a break."
Who the hell is Frank?
Yo, does that not sound like some type of weird movie you catch on HBO like in the morning? Who the hell is Frank?
Who the hell is Frank?
Who the hell is Frank? Coming to a theater near you. Right.
Yo, you can't make this up, yo. I said it earlier. Only Knicks fans would give that guy some kind of importance that the oncoming point guard has to seek his permission to wear his vaunted number 11. Oh my God!
At the point guard
only
position.
Knicks fans.
Yeah, only Knicks fans, bro.
And
it's the reason. And AD, it's the reason why the Donovan. That's why people have a issue with the Donovan Mitchell deal. They're like, no, I don't want to see Grimes go. I don't want to see. I don't want to see Grimes play. I don't want to see Grimes come off the bench for the Utah Jazz. I want to see him come off the bench here. Really?
Yeah. Why should we listen to you? You're the same people that champion Frank Ntilikina.
It's the same people that love Michael Beasley. Man,
the
please
same
bring
people
Michael
that
Beasley
love
back.
Michael Beasley.
They saw him killing Big Three and were like, bring him back.
Bring back Beasley,
Bring
bro.
him back.
Oh my God. Oh my God. The same people that were in love with the lottery bust named Derek Williams. Y'all remember Derek Williams?
I liked it.
Remember that one season of Derek Williams, bro? And so that's why I kind of why I cut Julius Randle a little slack, a teeny bit. It's because I seen lottery bust power forwards come here, do absolutely nothing, and get a bunch of love. And then Julius Randle, a lottery bust power forward, come here, make the All-Star team, and get no love. It blows my mind. Henry Ellenson, bro.
But you know what, Freezy? You know what, Freezy? As much as we kill Randle and I'm out in front, Randle would be the best player that Donovan ever played with.
Offensively? You're saying
offensively.
Okay.
Yeah.
To this point in his career, Donovan, he would be the best player that Donovan ever played with.
Okay. He never
That's
played
true.
with Gordon. Did he play with Gordon Hayward?
No.
They missed each other. He went to Boston that year.
Okay.
never
So you
played
may
with
be right,
Hayward.
bro. You may. I think he may be right. And Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says, "I promise y'all, I love Uncle Freezy. Uncle Freezy is the best thing going on YouTube." Hey, I appreciate that love, Paris Duggar. I appreciate you, bro. And let me. I'm gonna that passion for Uncle Freezy is kind of overstated some. I'm gonna add some hot sauce to it just to spice it up. So I'm just gonna say that Paris Duggar says, "Yo, I promise y'all, Uncle Freezy is good when he's awake." Does that sound better, Paris Duggar? Paris Duggar, does that sound better? Now I just want to add some spice to it because it came across a little soft at first. So, but yeah, man, yeah. So Knicks fans have this weird thing where they love the mediocre player now, and anytime you say anything, it's like Sherwin and Obi Toppin. When Sherwin says something about Obi, hundreds of people in the chat are just wanting to go at Sherwin for saying that if Obi was that good, how come he hadn't shown it yet? And the easy excuse is well, if he got more playing time, then you would see it. But what about other examples of that? What about Scott Burrell? Y'all remember Scott Burrell?
Oh man, yes.
Y'all remember Pete Myers?
No.
The New York
Knicks
draft pick Pete Myers. Y'all remember him?
That back. Oh.
Pete Myers, the John Starks, Gerald Wilkins backup. Pete Myers. You remember him? The Knicks drafted him.
Wasn't he here like a couple times, or am I imagining that?
I can't remember, bro.
He was here twice.
Okay,
yeah.
Back. He was a net for a little bit too.
Yeah, he was here twice.
Oh, he's on every team. Yeah, he's on every team.
He was like a Marty Collins type player. That's it.
Jesus.
Nothing more. Nothing more than that. Pete Myers dreamed to be Marty Collins.
Marty Collins is remembered for that mellow fight, though. At least that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marty Collins.
Yeah, and so we're like, think about where we're at. Think about where we're asking, Andy. What we're asking to not do a deal because a dude off the bench averaged 6 points a game is going to be a star in the league.
Yeah. Easy. Listen, that's
even
why
if
I'm
you're-
telling you. For me, the picks can go if the players need to go, cool. But I'd rather keep them to trade them for that missing piece because I know that these guys aren't the missing piece.
So who's the missing piece?
Depends who goes in the trade. Which gaps are gonna have to fill, but I definitely know that. For example, if we trade Grimes and Cam in that deal, then that wing position a little bit shaky, I'd say. and I'd easily trade quickly for a vet wing.
I'll tell you what I can do off rip. I would trade them two and go get Ben McLemore and Josh Jackson and be better at the position. And I'll get them up to scrap heap right now.
Wow.
Freezy, I think there's plenty of fans that if Obi had to go in that deal, they would resign Melo.
No, why revisit that?
Andy,
I'll pass on that.
Anthony, I bet you there's like 40% of the fans. If Obi goes in a deal, Carmelo is just waiting, and they're gonna tell you that Carmelo is waiting to see if the deal is gonna go down. Because if it goes down, he's gonna sign with the Knicks. I'm telling you, bro.
That ship has sailed. That ship has sailed.
Yeah, I'm a huge Carmelo fan, but no, thank you.
Yeah, I'm
not a fan of that. I'm not a fan. I'm just telling you that there are fans out there that are willing to sign Carmelo.
I'll be right back, y'all. I gotta go outside and smoke a cigarette.
I get it.
I'd consider it, but I'm still afraid that Carmelo Anthony isn't willing to get into the backseat. And he would be like, listen, I can outplay Obi easily. I can outplay probably even Randall. And he would make problems out of that. If he would be willing to take those, 12 minutes, 10 minutes a game, that I might do it. But I bet you that he can say that, on the day he's going to sign and negotiate the contract, that ain't going to be going through the whole season.
Andy, you already have problems finding Obi minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, if Obi goes,
even if Obi goes, you just gave Sims a 3-year contract.
Oh, come on!
You gotta find minutes for this young dude now as well to pick up an old dinosaur at the end of his contract when he didn't want to come here none of the last several years. That just makes no sense to me. To come stand in the way of Sims, to be in the way of Randall, like what are we doing here?
Well, listen,
really, there's big fans out there that really want Melo.
Yo, Ant, if we're looking for W's, I'd rather see Melo on the court than Sims.
No. Oh my God, no.
I don't agree with that one, Andy. I'm sorry, bro. I don't want. I asked that on our show about somebody had said something. I'm like, I don't see the purpose of bringing Melo back on this team. There's no purpose of bringing Melo back on this team.
No, Andy.
If I could use him like an NBA 2K, bro, if I could make him run, make him defend, and play like I wanted him to play, I would easily play him over Sims. Easily.
No.
Angle. Let me ask you a quick one now. At the end of the game, we need a 3-point shot. I can see them playing him even in place of Randall, and that will destroy team chemistry. So yes, I see the point of why logically they want to have him, but I see the point of why we should not even touch him. I think he is definitely toxic in the sense of playing time distribution. So that's my fear.
Sorry about that. Just wanted to get a drink of water. Sorry about that, y'all.
Yeah, he's not a bad person. He's not a bad person. A bad person wanted in my locker room. Nah, that's not it. I don't want to have minutes for you.
Right.
Yeah, let him go.
I don't want to have minutes for you at all.
Yeah. That's really like stomp. You bring him in. That's really stomping the grove. Yeah, that's really like stomping the grove. That's why I don't see
the grove for the young dudes.
Yeah, I don't see no purpose of bringing him in here. Not him. None. Not him.
Let's do a timestamp. Let's do a timestamp. Can you flag on the Freezy or I know what Andy or Vidal want to do a show.
I'm gonna have this timestamp, guys. Remember, if we see info that Melo's coming back.
All signs are pointing to him coming back, bro.
I would be shocked.
All signs are pointing to this dude, but the sad part about it is you can't have Randall, Obi, and Obi and Melo.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
That's right. So if I'm telling you, if Randall goes in some weird twist of fate, Melo is back. If Obi goes, Melo is back. Right. And it's one of those weird things like the son paying for the sins of the father. You gotta let this dude go out in style. I don't want to see it happen, bro. I say move on. I say that ship has sailed. But there are Knicks fans out there more concerned with stories than they are with winning. And I can't begrudge them because we all get entertainment different ways. Entertainment to me is pursuit of a championship. Entertainment to others is storylines.
Yeah, and that's a storyline it's already run its course. Right. That right there, it's already come and gone. Why would you want to see him over young Sims?
Right, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want.
Freezy, I was thinking the next thing you're gonna say after everybody get entertained, this different way. You're gonna say that everybody has his fetish.
No.
That's the wrong show, Andy. It's the wrong show.
Yeah,
that's the wrong show.
I'm gonna send that to Sim as a super chat.
That's funny.
I'll make Sam read that as a super chat on the screen. Thank you, Uncle Freezy, for the $30 super chat. Oh, God dog it. Yeah, man. I just to be honest, man. Just the direction of the team going forward. I know we can go in a lot of different directions, man. But my deal is just do something, bro. Our offseason, because think about it, if we don't trade for Spider, our offseason moves can't be a backup center when you already had one, right? And a point guard that's average. And Brunson can be better than average, right? He can be better than average.
Also, to the Brunson thing, his contract, as far as point guards go, I think it's gonna be like the 14th contract in the league.
Right.
So he's mid-pack paid.
Right.
So,
and that number will go down because he has a descending contract. As other point guards get paid and current point guards escalators go up, you'll see Jalen Brunson's salary come down that ranking over the years. So I mean, I understand that. I understand it's a value contract. I understand that. But
I just hope other fans realize that we're paying this dude as a mid-tier league point guard and not expect him to be top CP3 when he was top of his peak of his career. So
Andy, but Knicks fans are unreasonable, bro. They don't look at that. You know what they're looking at? They're looking at he's the Knicks' highest paid player.
Yeah. Or he's the best point guard we had in 20 years or stuff like that, right? So
that's when because that's how they did Julius. They the reason why Julius gets so much flack is because he's the Knicks' highest paid player. Right? Now that mantle is passed to Jalen Brunson. And if Jalen Brunson doesn't get this team to the playoffs, watch. I'm just saying, watch the pivot.
Actually, what do you guys feel though if we let go of Tibbs and the coaching staff and the front office with Brunson still there? So the new regime is going to walk in there going, how did he get here? Oh, his pops was assistant coach. Oh, his godfather was president. Oh, his babysitter from childhood was his head coach. And then his, the GM or the president's son was his agent. It's gonna look so much like we got
nepotism. Nepotism.
Right. It's gonna look.
That's all it is.
They may want to sweep and go. He's got to go because they may sweep everything out. That would be that's not fair. My fear is not Donovan Mitchell, doing great or not, or the other guys turning out. Is what happens if they do a sweep of the front office and the coach, and which will be the coaching staff probably. And that means Brunson will not even get a chance to do anything if this happens to be a failure next year. And the failure could all be based on one or two bad moves. It could be based on, and this is my biggest fear, is Tibbs, rotations, and time management of his players. where he makes Mitchell play 40 minutes a game, and Mitchell is not built for that. Or he makes, even though iHawk is going to step in there, I still fear if Mitchell gets hurt, I worry about the season's effect because I think they're looking towards building with him. If Brunson not Brunson getting hurt. If Brunson stays healthy, if RJ gets hurt or Randall doesn't play up to par, or they don't step up to the next level back to where they should be, then the season could be, 30-something win season, and it's going to look like a failure to everyone because I don't see us losing 42 games or 41 games next year. If we do, I do consider it a failure, unfortunately.
Oh, wow. Wiz, wow.
I don't know. The Brunson move with the team we have, I still feel we're in the same range as we were last year.
Wow.
That's the thing. I like Brunson too, but we're still in the 6th seed to play in kind of range again.
Yep.
Because all those teams,
I would say at least play-ins. Come on.
Yeah, at least play-ins, but we're in that 6, 7, 8 play-in range. I don't know. It's just a bit uninspiring from the front office if that's the only move.
Let me offer a contrarian viewpoint. That's if y'all want to debate it. I'm talking about in a soft debate. I'm not talking about coming out swinging.
Is it about Brunson or?
It's about Brunson. So I think the addition of an average point guard in Tibbs' offense. Listen, Jalen. The name aside, the resume aside, all that stuff. An average point guard in Tom Thibodeau's pick and roll heavy offense opens up the floor for your RJ Barretts, your Julius Randles, your Mitchell Robinsons, right? I did a video, it's on the Patreon, of how the average NBA point guard running the pick and roll gets to a certain spot on the floor and where Kemba Walker got on the floor, right? And it's about a 2.5. It's about 2 to 3 foot difference in space. Now, when you do your hands like this or whatever, you're like, well, Uncle Freezy, that's not really that much space, right? But when you're thinking about a defender, the guy that's actually screened, right? Say the opposing point guard being screened, and the distance that the big has to come up and contest, that's a huge difference, right? So now you're talking about just an average NBA point guard. Just say, who's the most average of average, y'all would say? The most average of average point guards.
Right now?
Yeah.
Mike Conley, since we're talking about the Jazz.
Mike Conley, the most average of average. Mike Conley, in that same scenario, gets about 3 feet of space, right? The big steps up and cuts off half of that space. That gives the cutter behind your big about a half of space of room. And in my opinion, that's the difference between RJ Barrett finishing at the rim and RJ Barrett missing. Right? Now, say the big doesn't step up, right? Say the big doesn't step up. Say the big sags back to cut off that lane, right? So RJ Barrett can't get a one-on-one layup at the rim, right? Say the big stays back there, right? An average point guard, Mike Conley, with 2 or 3 feet of space in the NBA, that's an open three-pointer. 2 or 3 feet, 24 to 36 inches of space is a wide open three-pointer in the NBA. Now, I know it seems like a stretch, right? Like 2 feet, that's nothing. And these gaps close so fast. Exactly. That's my point. These gaps close so fast that if you don't have a point guard that can create space for himself or others, knowing how fast, athletic, and long these NBA defenders are, not only do you shut down the defense on yourself, shut down the offense on yourself, you shut down the offense of other players. Now players don't cut as hard because they know you can't make it there, right? And Chef, you'll understand what I'm saying. It's like you remember Lavernius Coles running in the deep routes when Chad Pennington was a quarterback. Remember him and Santana Moss? They wouldn't run deep routes. You know why? Because Chad Pennington didn't have the arm to throw the ball down the field 50 yards.
Arm was weak.
Yes.
But he could hit that. He hit you over the middle all day.
He can
dunk. He get those strikes.
He can hit Anthony Beck all day. Y'all remember Anthony Beck?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, he hit Anthony
I'm a
Beck
Jet
all
fan.
day.
I'm a Jet fan, Freeze.
Yeah. He could hit Curtis Martin out the backfield all day, right? Lavernius Cole on square ends, 15-yard square ends. But nobody respected the square end from Lavernius Coles because they knew Chad Pennington couldn't get the ball downfield. It's the same thing that happened with us this year with Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker did not have burst around the screen. So why even set it? Why even set the screen, right? And so it puts you in this situation where an average point guard gets that extra 2 to 3 feet and will get the defender on his hip, right? Instead of the big coming up being parallel, now the big is turned kind of square sideways, right? Because he's trying to stop you and protect the rim at the same time, right? As you go to the basket. Kemba Walker never threatened defenses like that, right? But you put an average point guard in there, all of a sudden, 2 defenders have to stop the ball handler who's penetrated the paint, right? Now you leave openings for the weak side guy, the weak side defender. The strong side defender has to either help cut off this drive to the basket, which leaves the corner 3 wide open, or go out to the corner, right? And leave the back door open from the guy cutting from a wing spot. You can't cover 3 guys covering 3 guys. Doesn't make sense when 3 guys have to double 1 guy. When you have 3 on 3 and 2 have to double 1, that means 1 guy is going to be wide open, even if you have 3 guys on that same side of the floor. And so I did a breakdown of the Jalen Brunson running the screen and roll against DeJounte Murray, right? DeJounte Murray, I think, is an elite defender. I don't know how y'all see him. I think he's a really, 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 really good point guard defender.
Youngest all defender ever.
Yeah. I think he's really good, right? And so Jalen Brunson put him in spin cycle on 3 plays that I saw on a Jalen Brunson pick and roll breakdown, right? And how he put him in a spin cycle is not by foot speed, but by craftiness. He used different moves. It's kind of like, hey, Chef, do you like that boxer Devin Haney?
Yep.
You know how Devin Haney set you up with offense by giving you different offense every round? Like when you go back to your round, your coach says, hey, he was doing such and such and such. And then when he come out in the next round, he's doing something different. So while he doesn't have the power to knock you out, he beats you by accumulation of punches, right? And this is what Jalen Brunson brings to the table. First thing Brunson did was lunged at DeJounte Murray and played physical, right? And it was physical with him, right? The second time he set him up, he jab stepped and went around the screen. DeJounte Murray, expecting the physical contact, backed up a little bit, gave the defender time to seal him. Brunson now is around the screen in a one-on-one situation with the Spurs big man, right? The big calls for help because he knows he's beat, right? The weak side defender comes. Dallas gets who was number 10 for Dallas? Is that Hardaway Jr.? Whoever number 10 is for Dallas, they get a wide open corner 3 because the weak side defender comes and stop Brunson's penetration. Who was 10? Is that Hardaway? Hardaway what 10? No, he didn't. Hardaway what 5 for us?
Could be Finney Smith.
Whoever the dude is that got
either
the
way,
shot.
yeah.
Whoever the dude is that got the shot, he missed. But the point is not him missing. The point is he got the open shot. Right? But then when I do the breakdown of Kemba in the same situation, Kemba Walker being guarded by the Washington Wizards is the one that I have on the Patreon right now. Right? And they had a bunch of non-defenders on the floor. I think Davis Bertans was the strong side defender in a play. I don't know how old it is, how old the thing is, but Davis Bertans was on the floor. So it might be like 2 years old, 3 years old, right? Kemba Walker could not beat his guy around the screen, right? And so the big, instead of cutting off Kemba, pushed his guy out to the corner and bumped the cutter off track. And Kemba had to settle for a fall away 18-footer, right? But Kemba Walker made the shot. So you know what that makes it look like? It makes it look like a successful pick and roll play ran. Right? But that was 2 years. How often did Kemba Walker do that last year? Right. So what I'm getting at is this. Jalen Brunson doesn't have to be the second coming of John Stockton. All he has to be is an average NBA point guard at best for our players to thrive. And if he is above average or even good, I think the Knicks probably is the 6th seed in the East without the addition of Donovan Mitchell. Because what happens is Tibbs has an offense that he's been running 2 years in a row. And this summer, he incorporated the Spanish pick and roll. The first set I saw them run in the summer league was the Spanish pick and roll. I saw the two bigs come up top. Right? I saw the pick and roll ball handler Miles McBride look at the defense, chose one of the dudes to go, got into a thing. He didn't get to the rim. He had a wide open pull up 8-footer, I think, and I can't remember if he hit it or not. But what I'm getting at is if Tibbs feel comfortable that pick and roll that he ran the 7th most amount of times in the NBA in 2021, 2022 for the 6th highest time of possession in pick and roll, I think Jalen Brunson is going to unlock whoever's left in a Donovan Mitchell trade or whoever's here if we don't do the trade. Right. So basically what I'm getting at and to summarize everything, what will the Knicks be with Jalen Brunson? My word is better. That's it.
Freezy, I'm like 95% of the way there with everything you said. Because you're right, but the big caveat is that all it is dependent on Brunson having another ball handler with him.
Okay.
And this is why I'm so for this Donovan Mitchell trade, and that's why I was so. Remember, I was yelling on your show about the DeJounte Murray. I was like, get him! He'll unlock Brunson, which right. I think people were missing about. Because I agree with everything you're saying, but a lot of what Brunson does. Brunson is basically a secondary ball handler, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way.
You mean in a CJ McCollum Bradley Beal way?
In a CJ McCollum Bradley Beal way.
Right.
Exactly that. He's not Dame, he's CJ McCollum. So you can't really run the offense through him because that's not what he's good at. He does a lot of off-ball work,
Right.
And everything you said would work if we had that other primary ball handler guy that Brunson could work off of, because that's where Brunson's strengths are. Brunson is not particularly fast. He's not particularly big. And so he uses a lot of one-on-one mismatches. Like you were saying, like the extra 2 to 3 feet.
Yeah.
That's huge for a guy like him who's not very big, right? Like he takes advantage of that extra 2 or 3 feet of space. So we need, who's the guy on this team who will get Brunson the chance to get those extra 2 to 3 feet of space? And the answer is Donovan Mitchell, because RJ's not that type of player. Randall's not that type of player. And if you look at the Dallas sets when they ran their 5 out, it was either, I forget the minutes. I had the stat pulled up, but the page is gone by now. But it was Luka, Brunson, and Dinwiddie, and 2 of those 3 guys always shared the court at the same time, no matter what.
Right.
I don't think they played any minutes unless they were injured, in which 2 of those 3 guys were not on the court at the same time.
Okay.
As in, 2 of those 3 guys are primary ball handlers, Luka and Dinwiddie. So it's like you always had somebody that Brunson could work off of so he could get his buckets. If you look at the Utah Jazz games in the playoffs when Brunson just carried them, right? Luka was hurt, and Brunson beat the Jazz by himself. No one talks about Dinwiddie's games in those series. He had 20 points in each of those series, 20-plus points, because he's the guy who was doing the fake, quote-unquote, Luka stuff right? He could kind of mimic what Luka does, and then Brunson would come off the secondary screens. Brunson would come off he'd get a down screen from Dwight Powell, catch the secondary action, and then he'd get his little floater or layup to find Finney Smith in the corner or whatever like that. And so I'm like, I'm 95% in agreement with what you said. I need that primary ball handler here. I need that one guy who's going to be like, I'll do the initial breaking down of the defense, and then I'll find Brunson who can do all that stuff
after the mismatches are created.
Exactly.
All right, let me do this real quick. Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says Donovan Mitchell, RJ won't get paid. Not paying 4 $100 million guys. Hey man, guess what, Paris Duggar? Yeah, you will. The salary cap is going up, and you are gonna pay. You might pay, and I know it's gonna sound like blasphemy, but you might be paying upwards of 5 $20 million players. Right? Because the salary cap is projected to go up about $40 million. The cap might go from whatever it is, to I think they're saying 141, 147, some weird number like that. That's crazy right now. And if you have Julius Randle at 23 as a base salary, my man Brunson at 27 at a base salary, Donovan Mitchell at 31 something. That's $81 million in a salary cap at 140, right? That's about 60% of your salary cap. So you do have room for another $25 to $30 million player. And I know you said $100 million, right? But 100 million divided over 4 years is what, 25 million?
Yep. And that's always my argument with people. They always throw out the total salary for the entire contract rather than look at the per year.
The per year number.
We have this, descending contracts where Randall and Brunson are going downward, and Mitchell's going downward, right? And we're gonna get to the Rose, and we're gonna get to the probably maybe Fournier or Redone. It's only one more year of expiring contract that the following year.
And Julius Randle's is increasing, right? Not descending, right?
No, I think just Randle descending. Oh, is just Randle descending or increasing?
It's increasing.
Oh man, so he's the older one. Okay, so Brunson is descending and Robinson is descending. And if they sign RJ, they'll probably do the same thing as well.
And think about what you're saying, too, Wes. Think about this: if you trade for Donovan Mitchell, he'll be the highest paid player, right? But I think he's making Andy, $32 million a year, 31.
Let me tell you.
So you're talking about him making about, I'll say 33. So say he's making 33. Brunson's making 27. That's 60 million. Randall is making 23.5. Right? That's 83.5. And your salary cap is one something.
Now it's like 122, I think. But Donovan Mitchell is going to make, in the next season, is going to make 30 million.
30.
The next season, 32.6, 34.8, and 25-26. He's going to be having a player option for 37.
He'll turn that down. He'll turn that down because players at his position already make more than that.
Right.
But Fuzi, I think piece of what you're not seeing is, even though the monies it's generally going to be because the salary caps is going up, is who do you want to give that money to?
Right.
Like, do you really want to give RJ Barrett anywhere from 150 to 180 million dollars?
Well, but AD, that's so okay. So I appreciate that, bro. But that's not a salary cap issue. It's a how much do you value RJ Barrett issue.
Right.
Because if you value RJ Barrett as an up and coming superstar, this wouldn't even be a discussion. Pay him, right? It wouldn't even be a discussion, right? It depends on where you value RJ Barrett at. If you're looking at RJ Barrett and counting pennies, you're like, how much do I value these pennies versus RJ Barrett, right? But if this was a Ja Morant type player, would you really be having that conversation?
Ja Morant is a superstar.
Right. I understand that. That's why I'm saying. That's why I brought him up. Because if RJ Barrett was a superstar, we wouldn't be having that conversation, right?
Right.
So it comes down to how much you value RJ Barrett. That's what I'm saying. Because if you value him at a superstar level, you pay him and there's no conversation. But if you value him at this dude has a lot of flaws in his game, maybe one day he'll be great. Now you're thinking like, what is this guy actually worth?
Freezy, but we can have the same conversation about Mitchell Robinson deal.
Right.
Question is, did the front office value him at this number, or it was like, listen, we're over the cap, we got to pay him because if he walks, we won't be able to get a replacement for that number because we won't be able to use that money. Right. So we can pay him like $2-3 million more a year,
right?
Because it's not going to hurt us that much,
especially this year.
Yeah. Yep.
Especially this year on a descending contract. Yeah.
Yeah. So that might have been the case with Mitch, right? Right. And that might be the case with RJ. If we trade for Donovan Mitchell, he's gonna basically put us over the salary cap, right? So for the Knicks to pay RJ that 150 instead of 136,
yeah,
it's not going to be that much because it's going to be like an average of $3-4 million a year. So for the whole salary cap growing stuff and new CBA on the table in a couple of years, I don't think they might not value him at 151, but they might pay him that, for example.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So David, so what you're speaking to is not the player, but the value of the contract and what the contract gives you.
Oh, I'm always speaking that way.
Okay. All right.
Okay. It doesn't matter to you that he's making less per year or that he's making more per contract's lifetime.
No, I'm only looking at per year. Right. And listen, the best example is Jared Jeffries, right? If I remember correctly,
Jared Jeffries.
Yeah, Jared Jeffries. You know why? Because I think that the season that he played with the Knicks, like the season when we had David Lee, Nate Robinson, and those guys, right?
Lance Thomas.
Jared Jeffries was getting paid like $11.5 million, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
When the salary cap was below $100 million, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Listen, I didn't like Jared Jeffries for $11 million a year. But I take him for the vet minimum.
Mm-hmm.
I take him, and I gladly take him. The same thing with Lance Thomas. I wouldn't pay him $12 million, but I take him for $3.5 million per year.
Right.
I'd rather have him than someone out of whatever shape and form or no one in the NBA. I'd rather have a vet that can give me something for pennies. So I always do that. A player, depending how much he's earning, I kind of base my expectations on that number, right? Of course, it's after the rookie contracts, because the rookies get paid sometimes $3-4 million, and they're overachieving it easily, right, on the duration of the contract.
Right.
So,
right, because the reason why I asked the question, because people always throw the number, and right now, KD is going to make $190 million, where Dame Lillard is making $122 million. The difference is Dame's is a 2-year contract, whereas a 4-year contract. So the per year is always more important rather than say, oh, Dame only makes what Randall is making. But it's over 2 years. So look at the overall contract, because the length of the contract is a factor. Incentives may be a factor. Look at the per year contract, and that's where you compare it to.
Yeah.
It affects the cap. So
yeah, but Dame is the worst example, because his $122 million is for only 2 years.
Right.
Oh, man. I mean, we should be giving Aaron Judge that money, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh no, he'll be a Met. He'll be a Met next year.
Oh
but yeah, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, man, I get what y'all are saying about the cap, man. I may have said it in a way that doesn't, but I think there is intrinsic value to organizations and how they feel about a player, and not always about how they feel about the player's contract.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think that's one of the reasons why you saw the Knicks pay so many of Julius Randle's fines, because the Knicks feel a certain way about Julius Randle, the player, the person. Right, and I know that probably seems like blasphemy, but whatever.
Yeah, that can be blasphemy, because look, Freezy, look at New Orleans, right? They gave Zion the max, and Zion has played less than one season in three seasons.
Right.
Kemba played more.
And the same was with Joel Embiid.
You see, you're taking massive risk. That's a massive risk for that guy to give him the total max for what has he shown you?
Yeah, but listen, the Zion also has those, weight clauses nowadays and stuff like that. So I think, if he wants to get paid, he needs to be, on a diet and the regime training and stuff like that. So I think it's way better. It's still a high risk, but it's still lower risk than what the 76ers did, because the 76ers did the same exact thing with Joel Embiid, and dude was broken, knees, hands, whatever, feet, all around.
He was hurt coming out of college. He should have been the number one pick over Andrew Wiggins, but he got hurt at Kansas. And the funny thing is he got hurt at Kansas with Andrew Wiggins there. And Andrew Wiggins, without Joel Embiid in the way, could showcase all his talent. And that's how Wiggins became the number one pick. Right? And again, and what people forget about in that draft too is the Milwaukee Bucks picked second. And the Milwaukee Bucks could have easily drafted Joel Embiid with the number 2 pick.
Yep.
But they drafted Jabari Parker. Right now, we could be looking at a Milwaukee Bucks team with Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I don't blame them from taking Parker though.
Parker was a monster.
Parker was a monster.
Who ironically got hurt.
Yeah.
Ironically got hurt.
Yep.
Parker was a monster.
Back-to-back seasons. You remember Nike ran it when Jabari Parker was out front running away with the Rookie of the Year campaign. He tore his ACL. Right, and Nike ran the ad. Remember, Nike ran all those ads, like everybody crying, Jabari Parker, the next star of the NBA, the next Melo, and all of that stuff. And then he came back the next season and tore the ACL in his other leg. Right, after recovery.
Yep.
Right.
How many times have you seen that though, where the person who's come up a major injury like that, they tear the other one because your other leg is weakened?
It's really common because you overcompensate the leg.
You overcompensate and you come back too quick.
Yeah.
I remember when that kid came back, I'm like,
it's too early.
It's too early.
You know who else
You're
that
not
happened
playing
to?
for the next contract yet. It's too early.
AD, you know who else that happened to? Derrick Rose. That's who it happened to. Derrick Rose.
I was thinking you're gonna say me though.
Yeah, no,
I'm the
not
third one. I'm the third one on the list.
Yeah, but you didn't get top 3. You were top 5. You were a top 3 pick. Was you top 5?
Yeah. Number 11. 11. Frank Miller is number 11.
Yeah. Oh, I always think
both Chicago kids too.
And
yeah.
That was Chicago basketball for like 5 years. Those are like the two guys that were going to change Chicago basketball, and they both
break
tore
courts.
their legs.
That's why break courts.
Yeah.
And I mean,
okay, guys, I'm gonna bounce because it's midnight here. Have fun. I'm gonna re-listen
midnight.
tomorrow.
That's all.
Midnight.
Please stay up till
Listen.
New York, don't you, Freezy? I mean, in the East Coast, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I was getting ready to do that Thriller song. It's close to midnight.
Thriller.
Hey, everybody! I gotta go too, man. I gotta eat dinner with the missus. Me and the missus are gonna eat dinner. I'm gonna tell her how great dinner is, and then about an hour after that, I'm gonna jump back on.
Yo, good, Andy. Yo, man, you want to make one last prediction for Frank or Fournier?
Frank? Well, Frank is gonna again, go to the probably Western Conference Finals with the Mavs.
Yeah.
I don't know about Fournier.
Yeah. He may also.
If he gets traded to the Jazz, no, I don't think so.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. But you know what? I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Hey, it's been real. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna try to jump back on in probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and probably rock deep into the night. As we'll rock as long as y'all got the energy. So Andy, hey, appreciate you, man. AD, Wes, Coach, everybody else, guys, man, we appreciate y'all rocking. We'll probably be back in about 2 hours or so.
Hopefully, the trade happens by then.
Hopefully, or they walk away from it, but we'll see. All right, y'all.
Appreciate it.
Peace.
Yo, for more in-depth Knicks conversations and more Uncle Freezy one-on-one time, consider being a Patreon. The link to our Blorange Tears Patreon page is in the description box below. It's more individual conversations, more in-depth breakdowns. For more of that stuff, consider $2 a month or something cheap like that for more in-depth Knicks conversations. I'll see y'all over there. I'm Uncle Freezy, and you know who I am, Uncle Freezy, the #1 chief rocker in Knicks